Welcome, everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners. Sprint Ride Option Podcast. Oh, man, we are live. Jason, we're going to start this episode by going into the Wayback Machine. We're going to go all the way back to Monday. And remember Monday when we did this podcast and people were saying, hey, Jason and Andrew, do you think Jimmy should start on Sunday or Trey should start on Sunday? And we said, we're not even going to know by Friday, so let's pump the brakes on that question because we probably don't know now. We probably won't know by Friday. Guess what, Jason Aponte? We don't know, and it is Friday. This is a new episode of the Sprint Ride Option Podcast. I'm Andrew Pasquini, Jason Aponte. To my right, I decided to do a cold open there. How are you doing on this lovely Friday evening? I guess it's Friday night for you, but how are you doing today, Jason?
I could tell you, but I just really don't feel like it at this point. So, I'll let you know. I'll let you know after the game on Sunday.
I feel like your Kyle Shanahan impression hits better when they can hear the complexion in your voice than when you just tweet it. It's like sarcasm doesn't carry on Twitter. Sarcasm, your Kyle Shanahan impression doesn't apparently carry over because we are live. This is a new episode. Jason did the Shanahan impression on Twitter. I hope I convince you to tell me how you're doing now.
Okay. Well, for you, I will. I'm great, man. I'm great. And, let's do a little housekeeping real quick. Anybody that's here watching the show on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that notification bell. I have a feeling you're going to want to tune into the post-game show one way or another.
One way or another.
Right? So, right now, we got a game to talk about. And you know what's funny, Andrew? You talked about going back in the time machine.
Yes.
So let's go back in the time machine.
Let's go back into the time machine.
Schedule comes out.
Yep.
And the last game of the season is against the Los Angeles Rams. And we think, oh, man, how cool would that game be for the division? Let that be the game that is the Week 18 game for the division. Well, it's not exactly for the division, but it does have the stakes that you wanted. And that is all we could really ask for. It's kind of funny how things work out. It was, that game's not going to be for the division after a little while. But it turns out the stakes are just as high as we had hoped. So our high hopes, high stakes, boom, all put together. And I just thought of that right now. That wasn't something I was planning on talking about.
Hey, well, I mean, we're talking. We're here. This is the second time in 3 years that, I can't say week 17 anymore because we're in week 18. This is the second time in 3 years that the Niners are coming down to the last game of the season, and their playoff positioning is in question. And this is the second time that they're going to have to go on the road and do it. Obviously, 2019, the Seattle game. This one's a little different because the Niners and Rams are not fighting for the same thing. The Rams are obviously in a better position right now. They're in the playoffs. The 49ers aren't. And I saw somebody ask how you can get me in fantasy. Just request me through ESPN or Yahoo. See what happens. I don't know. Maybe we'll have another pro day to see what happens. Maybe try and
no more pro days.
No more pro days. I'm retired.
Not for me. That's it. I'm not running around anymore. I'm tired, man. I'm tired.
No. Did you not see Jordan kind of threw you a bone? He said that the velo on my ball was so hard you had to drop that pass. So that's.
Realistically, I was gassed, man. Like running routes is hard. I don't care if you're throwing against air or anything like that, or you're just running against air. Gosh, man, and then being the only one, and then just like, all right, do it again. And it's just like, damn it, man, it's hard.
Derek says on the road that stadium is going to be 80% red. Yeah, I understand that. I understand LA is not exactly a football town that loves their hometown teams, but I think on the road, though, like we're talking about guys not being able to sleep in their own bed, hotel type stuff. So I think that stuff still affects them. So yeah, I get what you're saying, but it's still on the road. They have to play in LA. So let's talk about the playoff implications in this game, shall we, Jason? Because there are plenty of them. So the simplest way the Niners can get this done is they win. The Niners win. They are in. They are making the playoffs. I don't know exactly. I'm not sure how the seeding is going to work regardless, because I'm not too worried. I'm more worried about the Niners making the playoffs. If the Niners do not win, they lose down in Los Angeles, and the Saints lose to the Falcons. The Niners are in. Congratulations. Not the way we wanted to do it, but hey, they're there. But if the Niners lose and the Saints beat the Falcons, well, this is the last game preview of the season. So there's what it
Don't say
is.
that.
And I want to say this because I think the best option is the tie. I am all in on the tie option. If the Niners and Rams tie, the Niners clinch a playoff spot and the Rams clinch the NFC West. A little bit of I scratch your back, you scratch mine. I'm all for that. That's a possibility. Could you
and all right, you know what? A tie would be fitting in the sense that this season has been absolute chaos.
Yeah.
So that would be fitting, right? Like a win or a loss, that's anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Like really, let's keep this chaotic. Like an absolute tie, that's exactly the bow on this entire year, let alone the season. That would be the absolute bow on this entire year of covering this team because it's been absolute madness and chaos all year.
Oh, I'm going to go one further, and I may or may not imply collusion. And
The
maybe
C-word?
Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan, they still friends. Maybe they got over the Aaron Rodgers thing. Or not the Rodgers thing. What were they angry about? The Stafford thing. No, that's LaFleur. I'm making up whole things. God, I mean, they're all the same coach at some point, right? Maybe they collude. And they say, hey, because like, here's my thing. Invader Joe, I see it. The Rams don't want us in. Sure, that's a possibility. And I think that holds some weight. But the Rams are playing for something here too. And the Rams, I don't know if 49er fans know this. It's a really well-kept secret, Jason. You might not even know this. They've really struggled against the 49ers as of recently.
No.
Yeah, I know. That's wild, right? Like, I haven't heard anybody talk about it. So I definitely think there's, if the past shows, there's a little motivation for the Rams. I'm just going to say this. Listen, I don't think we're going to have any type of collusion. But if this is a close game, coming to the end of game and potentially going to overtime, I could see a situation where both teams play for the tie.
Andrew,
I'm just saying.
I mean, I love the laid back nature of this conversation. I love how casual we are because it's a little tense right now. A lot of 49er fans. A lot of 49er fans on the edge of their seat, whether it's about the quarterback situation or whether it's about, hey, are we going to make the playoffs? That's fine. I get that. We're about 8 minutes in. We want to start talking about this thing, like. Well,
I mean, in a way, we are talking about it because we're talking about all the outcomes. But yeah, let's talk about it. Obviously, the big story, and I see somebody asking about Trent. I know he has an injury he's going through, but it sounds like Shanahan's confident he can play. So I'm gonna take him at his word. So obviously the big conversation here, and it's funny, Jason, right? Because this is a conversation we have had since you were in Cleveland at that restaurant. Trey or Jimmy. And of course, like no other way, week 18, we have the exact same conversation. It is Trey or Jimmy. And if we're doing the whole election night, what's the feel right now? Is this candidate going to win? Is this candidate going to win? We don't know, but this is what it feels like. Yesterday was the day where it really felt like to me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. This is a Jimmy game. Whether you, and I'm not saying you, Jason, I'm saying you as a 49er fan disagree with it. That's what it seems like at this point.
Yeah, and realistically, I don't know why I keep saying that, man. I was on Lockdown 49ers last night, and I think I counted like 5 times that I said realistically over and over, and I don't know why that is, but this feels right for it to be this discussion around this because of how it started, and now it's like that meme, whoa, the consequence of my own actions. And now you're in a position where if this game goes one way or the other, you're going to have to answer questions about how you handled this quarterback situation. So you tried to put it off as best you could, and you thought you were going to get away from it. Mm-hmm. But here we are, week 18. Let me take this real quick from Gabriel. Jason, thank you for your realistic and unbiased perspective. Do you think Jeff and Mitchell tag team the carries? Jeff has fresher legs than Mitchell. This is going to be a 40-run game if the 49ers have their way. Same way that they did last time. So you would hope so. I'll say this real quick before I get back to the original point. The way Jeff Wilson was used in the original Monday night game, in the initial Monday night game, he was not used as a runner. He was used as, in that tight end spot, coming over and blocking. And this was before he was as effective as we've seen him lately. So who knows what Shanahan's got up his sleeve right now at this point. But for whatever reason, again, I kind of have to eat a little bit crow here because I kept saying that Elijah Mitchell was out of necessity the workhorse, but Jeff Wilson was healthy, and they gave him everything. And if you remember how it played out in that Rams game, I believe he had 27 carries for 93 yards. Wasn't exactly efficient, but it was less about how many yards he had per carry and about holding the ball and the time of possession. And I think that, again, the 49ers have the formula. Less that Shanahan owns McVay.
All the same people.
More that Shanahan owns their defensive philosophies and has a strategic way to get it done. Because Jimmy Garoppolo's won 4 times. Nick Mullins has won once. So people forget the whole 5-0 thing. Yeah, that's Jimmy 4, Nick Mullins 1. And that's based on what? On the principles that Shanahan is exploiting, right? Real quick. George, hello, guys. I'm wishing y'all a good afternoon. How was your guys' day? Hoping the 49ers win on Sunday with quarterback Trey Lance. So that brings me right back. I'm glad that you did that. Shout out to George, man. Appreciate that. So it's really funny that Kyle Shanahan thought that he could manage this thing where, I'm not going to have to answer questions about Trey Lance. We're going to win enough games with Jimmy Garoppolo where we're going to put this off, and here we are. And that's why he's so annoyed. He's upset because he handled things the way that he thought where he could put all of this stuff off, and Trey Lance puts up a second half like that last week while Jimmy Garoppolo isn't 100%, because let's face it, if he starts or not, he's not 100% one way or another. And now the consequences of your own actions have brought you back to what we were talking about in training camp. It's funny how things work. Time is a flat circle, if anybody's ever seen True Detective. And this is the 49ers season. You like that, right? This is the 49ers season in a nutshell. Talking ourselves in circles, and here we are again. Go ahead, Andrew.
Here's my concern, and this is something, we've said it before. We are not pro Jimmy guys. We're not anti Jimmy guys. We watch football and we tell you guys what we think. I think it is going to be much easier for Kyle Shanahan to explain this game if they lose. This is an if they lose situation. If he chooses to start Trey Lance over Jimmy Garoppolo. And the reason I say that is we are talking about a quarterback who threw for the first time yesterday in 2 weeks, consistently at least. I know he's kind of, throwing the ball like I threw at that park in Santa Clara that one day, just to see the feel and all that stuff. But the last time we saw him, he was a large part why they lost that game against Tennessee. I mean, if anybody wants to say the defense, just block me on Twitter, because the third downs, Jimmy Garoppolo put them in those situations every time. Not only did he have a bad game, he had an injury that he allegedly didn't tell the Niners about. I'm going to use allegedly because I don't know what's going on. That he didn't tell the Niners about neither during the game, the weekend following, and he waited until Monday to let them know. So he put the Niners in a position to lose a game they needed to win because he wasn't healthy, and then he didn't have a good game. And now you're coming off of a game where a rookie looks good in the second half. Like, I know the first half wasn't great, but he definitely had a second half that makes you forget that first half wasn't good. And I'm not just saying that because it's Trey Lance. If Jimmy Garoppolo had the exact same game, I'd be saying the exact same things about it, right? To me, there is too many question marks because I know the Niners never gave an official timeline, but what did they say? 4 to 6 months? Weeks. That's usually what the injury is. And now you're telling me 17 days after the injury, like, no, he's fine. He can grip a football and throw a football. To me, it's a lot easier to explain. I would rather go in with my guys that I know are 100%, that I know that are 100%. I know that he's more comfortable with Garoppolo than Lance. I understand that. But this isn't a game where you go in and you're not sure about how your starting quarterback is feeling entering it, and we're waiting and we're waiting and we're waiting. Just go with the guy you know is 100% healthy, who put on one hell of a second half last week. I get that. So that's my take on it. I think it's easier that if the Niners lose because you start Trey Lance over Jimmy Garoppolo, I think that's easier to explain than, yeah, we picked the guy who didn't throw a football for 2 weeks before Thursday, was injured, and didn't play well the last time we saw him. Michael, thank you for the donation. Watch Rams will use a 5-man line to disrupt our run. They haven't done it yet, so we'll see. We'll see.
Right.
They haven't really adjusted yet. So
I have thoughts on that.
6 times the charm, right?
Right. So I have thoughts on that actually too. And I mentioned this. I hate that I used it on the Locked On 49ers podcast. Should have saved it for our podcast. But when you're on with those GOATs, you got to bring your A game. So, But I will reiterate for anybody who didn't hear what I had to say in terms of what the Rams defense is. Brandon Staley was here last year. He's obviously the head coach right now of the Los Angeles Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
He runs a lot of too high, meaning they don't care about you running the ball on them. Like, you can run the ball. We're not going to give up anything over our head.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is the 49ers with Jimmy Garoppolo under center are not trying to go over your head.
Nope.
And they haven't changed that. I understand Raheem Morris is there now, but all of those same principles are in there. They literally left the same scheme and said, Raheem, run it this way, the same way. Run it this way and, throw some little flavor on it. That's why when you're wondering, well, why don't they just sit in the middle of the field? Well, why don't they just load the box? That's not what they want to do. And they haven't changed that since the 49ers have done that. Their run defense has improved 100%. It has. Von Miller's actually been very good in run defense. But they're not going to change that. You go 17 weeks with the same defensive philosophy, and then you're going to change it in week 18. Again, like Andrew alluded to, 6 times the charm. Why haven't you done this before?
Yeah.
Other thing, again, winning the game with Nick Mullins, this is all on the 49ers offense to sustain drives, tire out that defense. And again, the Rams, when you punch them, they don't want to get hit. They're not built to take the ball and they go home. If you look at how they play against winning teams, winning records, they can get folded. Very much akin to the Green Bay Packers in 2019. When you punch the Packers, they don't want to play like that. We're going to go home and that's it. We're done. The Rams are very much like that. And they would have lost this past game against the Ravens if Lamar Jackson was healthy. So you can beat up on the Jaguars all you want. You can beat up on subpar teams all you want. The 49ers do something that you don't like, and as they hit you. And Kyle Shanahan knows how to exploit those linebackers who are bad in coverage. And he's going to get Deebo Samuel lined up on them. He's going to get advantageous matchups with George Kittle lined up on them. He's not going to throw the ball at Jalen Ramsey. Why would you? It's not smart. And he's also not going to drop back 25 times so Aaron Donald can have a chance to beat guards or wherever it is that he's at. It's so funny how the Rams, whatever it is that they do on defense, the 49ers literally want to do that on offense. You want to keep everything in front of you? Cool. This 49ers offense isn't trying to take shots over your head, especially with Jimmy Garoppolo. Mm-hmm. You want to let them run the ball? Cool. This 49ers team wants to run the ball. Yeah. It's so funny. The chess match is so weird. And they have not adjusted. They just haven't. And this is where they're at. This is what I give D'Amico Ryans credit for. Week to week, opponent. Again, I want to run with a nickname, the Chameleon. Because week to week, he's changing it up based on personnel, based on matchups, all of those things. So that's why it's more impressive what D'Amico's doing. Hey, you got the Bengals? Cool. We're going to run a bunch of cover 2 and make sure that we have our rookie cornerback covered up for as long as we can. Okay, this game, they don't really have advantageous matchups. Cool. We can run a little bit more man this week. But for whatever reason, the Rams just continue to slam their head against the wall. And as much as McVay, halfway through the season, usually switches everything and uses his philosophy change, and now they're in heavy formations, which is why Sony Michel has been going crazy, the defense just doesn't. And Brandon Staley has left that imprint, not only on the Rams, a lot of teams are running that too high
Yeah.
look where it's just like we don't want to give up big explosives. But what if the team in front of you doesn't care about those explosives and is trying to milk the clock? It doesn't make sense. That's the thing.
It's a small advantage for a team like the 49ers in a league that everybody's looking for the next big explosive quarterback. They still have a quarterback who's like, nah, we good with that. So it works out, right?
And the other thing is, too, is their philosophy is, all right, you want to score points? We got an offense that can score points, too. And we're going to outscore you. But what happens if that offense is on the sideline for 11 minutes? And Matthew Stafford has an off game and he's throwing interceptions. Now that plan goes to hell. That's why they don't beat winning teams. You can mess around like that with the Jaguars and a bunch of subpar teams. You cannot mess around like that. The Packers punched them in the mouth. The Niners punched them in the mouth. That's different. When you play winning teams, the Rams aren't built like that. Let's take this donation from George. That man is Deebo Samuel. Y'all need to recognize every day on that Rams defense is going to get violated. That's it.
And then Zark Muckerbird said in response to one of the things you said, yes, they're going to change it for this game. They have they already have their playoff spot locked up. They don't. If the Rams lose this game and the Cardinals win this game, you're talking about the difference between the Rams hosting a playoff game next week,
the number 2 seed,
or them and the number 2. Well, actually, they could still get the number 3 seed if the Niners win and the Buccaneers win. The Niners would face the Rams next week as the 3 seed. But if the Rams lose this and the Cardinals win, the Rams are going to Dallas. So this is a big game. Yes, I understand the Rams are in the playoffs, but this is a big game. This is a big game for the Rams because we saw it with the 19 Niners how important home field is throughout. Is that Niner team going to Green Bay and beating the Packers? Maybe, because the Niners did dominate the Packers that year, but it's a lot different when you're having to travel places in the playoffs, right? This isn't like they're going to go to Los Angeles and have an 80% red stadium. They're going to go to Dallas, which is a tough place to play.
Right. And this is gut check time for the Rams. Mm-hmm. Are you going to let Big Brother keep whipping your ass? You don't think that they're thinking about that? You don't think that they're going to go out there and say, hey, we can not only stop this winning streak and knock this team out and solidify our spot? They're going to be playing as hard as they can. As hard as they can in this one. So they're tired of hearing it. Deebo Samuel had to answer questions about whether Aaron Donald knows who he is. Aaron Donald's tired of hearing it. We've been making Brunskill memes all week because he's been getting cooked by Daniel Brunskill, and it's the weirdest thing that makes no sense in the world that literally the best football player probably in the world is stopped by a guy who bounced around from different football leagues and is just a replacement level guy. Like let's keep it a buck with Daniel Brunskill. It's just funny to me. It's just really funny, all of this stuff. Real quick, let's get to some donations. Shout out to Jamal, man. Thank you for the donation, buddy. Fully expect that Shanahan will look to exploit the Rams linebackers in coverage. Keep up the great coverage, friends. I agree. He's going to use what he knows he can get out of it. And that's why Jimmy was hurt last year on the ankle, but he was fine in that game. Even though he missed Juice on the wheel throw, he still hit Kittle on 4th down over the middle. And again, that's where they want to live, and that's where the Rams are like, fine, throw it there. We don't care. Just don't go over our heads. And let's see. George says, I still feel the Rams are too confident. They're confident will be the downfall. If we stick to our game plan, we should win if Trey. Yeah, I mean, the 49ers can control this game on both sides of the ball with their offense, right? 11-minute drive to start that Monday Night Football game. Matthew Stafford, arm punt. 49ers don't score. Pick 6. Game's over. They go down 17-0. They're not built to come back like that, and they just aren't, because then you're just being predictable at that point. And now that Mosley's back, shout out to Mosley. That's really big. If Jimmy Ward gets back and this secondary is Ward, Tart, Mosley, Ambry. This is January 7th, and we're talking about being happy that Ambry Thomas is back and hoping that he will play, right? It's
wild.
Crazy
How is that?
Right. Azeez Al-Shaair might play in this game. Drake Greenlaw may play in this game. There's nobody that's out of this game right now. Mo Hurst might play in this game. The 49ers, realistically, there it is, that's 2, might be the healthiest that they've been on defense at the right time. At the right time. So the Rams have to get off to a good start. If the 49ers get off to that start where that first drive goes swimmingly, they're converting 4th downs, it's a 10, 11-minute drive, that defense is on the field, it's not going to go the Rams' way. They are not built to come back. They're not built like that. They're just not.
And you mentioned the injuries, Jason, so I guess it's helpful to go through the injury report that came out today. Thank you for the donation. I'm nobody you need to know. That's a great
You're
name. I like it.
everybody that you need to
Yeah,
know.
I need to know. I think I need to know. Aziz Al-Shaair is questionable with the knee injury. He hasn't practiced this week. Trent Williams hasn't practiced this week. He's questionable as well. It sounds like Shanahan's pretty confident that he's going to play. Jimmy Garoppolo, questionable with that right thumb. It seems like he is trending towards playing on Sunday. Dre Greenlaw questionable with a groin injury. Maurice Hurst questionable with a calf. Jaquaski Tart questionable with a shoulder. All these guys are limited practices. Marcel Harris questionable with the Achilles. And then I think the two big ones were Elijah Mitchell and Talanoa Hufanga. They were limited practices this week. They both were full participants. They are no longer on the injury report. So the 49ers are, considering it's week 18 and nobody is confirmed out at this point, relatively healthy.
Joe, the Rams did come back, but if Lamar Jackson's there, that game's put away much earlier. Much earlier. Like, no disrespect to Tyler Huntley, who's done a really good job. But if Lamar Jackson's scoring touchdowns and that offense doesn't stall out, the Rams are cooked. So they're not built to come back against teams that have competent offenses that are working. They're not. Keep going.
Brittany, thank you for the donation. At SRO, is this statement true or false? And this is actually a very interesting question because I've never thought about this question, and I like it when people ask questions I never have thought about. 49ers players have taken the true or false. 49ers players take these games personally in the same vein that the Seahawks players took it playing against Harps. I'm assuming you mean in terms of the rivalry against the Rams. I think in that context. I would say yeah. I mean, I think that statement's true. I mean, I think there's definitely a pride thing in knowing this is a team we like. There is definitely like, I don't think any player on either side would say it, but there's definitely a confidence from the 49ers walking into this game saying we have won 5 in a row against this Rams team, no matter who our quarterback was. And a Rams player sure as hell wouldn't say it like this. But I guarantee you there's that question in the back of their mind. Like, can we beat this team in a game where we need to beat them? So yeah, I would say true to that statement.
Yeah, and when people make the parallels between, well, Seattle and how they own the 49ers, that's over like multiple regimes. What I'm talking about with the way that the 49ers and Rams interact is that their defensive philosophies play into exactly what the 49ers want to do, whether it's Jimmy Garoppolo or Nick Mullins under center. Nick Mullins wasn't going to push the ball down the field. They were just going to run the ball a bunch and attack them at their weak points and attack the linebackers, and that's what they're going to do again. So it's less about the psychological advantage of, man, we got to go to Seattle. We never win over there. More about, I don't know how we're going to stop this, and we really don't have a plan to stop this. And I think that, like, with the 49ers in Seattle, they're always just waiting for the bad thing to happen or the weird thing to happen, and something always weird happens. Where in the 49ers Rams, these last 5, it's been the 49ers just do what they want, and you can't stop that. So, I mean, I hope that answered the question real quick, but let's see. Chillin wants to know, Aponte, did you have that beard in the preseason? I did, Chillin, but it wasn't as luxurious and dark, and that's something that I've been working on a lot. My father, for Christmas, he got me a beard shampoo and conditioner and oil, which I had been using oil, but man, I got to tell you, this thing is super soft right now. It's as full as it's ever been. And I got to say, I get, well, when I go outside, it's not really any time that I go outside because, you know, COVID's rampant. But when I go outside without a mask, people notice. People are noticing.
Find you a podcast that can seamlessly go from the conversation of the intricacies of the Rams 49ers rivalry and what it means that the Niners have won 5 in a row, that can instantly transition into shampoo, beard, and conditioner, or beard, shampoo, and conditioner is good. I love this podcast. This is my favorite podcast, Jason. I don't know if I told you that.
Well, here's the thing. We have the best viewers in the world, and they always bring the best comments, and they're part of the reason that I was able to transition to that. So we are nothing without the people who watch us, if not push us with the content. So
I saw somebody in the comments asked how often I dye my beard. I never have dyed my beard.
Oh, that man's beard is legit.
Yeah, this is 100% all natural.
Right, and that guy, he grows that, like, you guys ever seen the Santa Claus, like when he cuts the beard off and it immediately comes right back? Like me, I would have to sit here. Like, the only reason this grew was because the world went to hell and I had to sit at home and my barber wasn't allowed to let me sit.
That's kind of what's going on with my hair.
Oh, there you go.
That's why my hair. People make fun of the hair. Brittany, what are SRO's New Year's goals for the podcast? Ooh.
Ooh.
I like to keep it realistic. Just keep our steady climb. I think if we can maintain that, I'll be happy. I think that's my goal.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. George, thank you for the donation. George is killing it, man. Appreciate you, man. You're so generous. 49ers are considered a physical team. The Rams are considered a finesse team. The only way to beat the Rams is to run it down the throat. And if you do too much of those if you throw too much, those pass rushers will eat. Play smart. Correct. 100%. So a lot of things we've been talking about, right? A lot of people have been, well, what happened to the whole McGlinchey, Tom Compton thing? Because Tom Compton was the #1 rated offensive lineman this past week in football.
Okay.
But a lot of that is Kyle Shanahan understanding playing to strengths and not putting him in bad spots. And that's the thing with these Rams games. He understands two things. One, I don't want to have my defense out there with the secondary trying to, in a close game, if they have the threat of the run and the pass trying to cover. And two, I am not going to have my linemen out there trying to block Aaron Donald a bunch of times, Von Miller a bunch of times, and just drop back 100 times. Like, that's just not the way to win. So it's about Kyle Shanahan.
I'm gonna kind of disagree with George here because yes, part of it is run the ball down their throat. But the way the Niners throw the ball against the Rams, I mean, they really render the pass rushers irrelevant because they're just getting quick passes. They're taking what the Rams give them. That's why they're so successful. Is Shanahan sees what the Rams try to do in terms of the pass game against the Niners, and as Jason said, like they play that two-man top and they're trying to prevent the big play. So Shanahan said, yeah, I have a quarterback who, in terms of Garoppolo, Lance might be a different story. We don't know. But we have a quarterback who, he's not going to beat you deep. So we're just going to take the 5-yard dump, let Kittle run in space, because that's the other big thing. We talk about the Yak brothers, the Niners' ability to run after the catch. I don't know if that's like a pun.
Come
appreciate
on.
it.
I know what he's doing.
Well, I don't know if he's saying thumbs up for the podcast or if he's being punny. I don't know.
It's punny.
Hit that like button, Jimmy G's injured thumb. If you like this podcast, thumbs up this podcast.
Use your index finger though.
Use your index. Yeah, keep that right thumb. Use your left thumb. It really comes down to, the Niners have the Yak brothers with Kittle and Samuel and Ayuk, some of the best receivers in the game, and using that free space. And when teams are trying to stop you from going over the top, that means when you get those 5-yard passes, you have plenty of space to work, right? So that's why I think that's why the Niners have so much success against the Rams as well, is the Rams defense, instead of preventing what the Niners do well, they literally play into what the Niners do well. And I think that's a large part as to why the Niners are so good against the Rams, right?
Yeah, again, it's just philosophies and it's mentalities, right? Again, the Rams don't like getting hit. They don't like it. They don't like it. And if you don't think that this is in the mind of Sean McVay, I will point to the Monday Night Football game earlier this year when the Rams had a gimme field goal and Sean McVay said, oh, no. We got to run a fake field goal. And it got sniffed out. Listen, it's in their mind. It's in his mind. He wants to win. And he's tired of it. Again, I'll use it again. Me and my little brother were playing Madden. And I'm telling him, hey, man, I'm going right. What you about to do about it? And I run right through him. Ma, stop. Tell him to stop. I'm tired of it. Ma, I'm not going to play anymore. That's Sean McVay.
Yeah.
That's Sean McVay right now with Kyle Shanahan. And that's why I think Kyle Shanahan is being so abrasive right now. I think that he knows deep down in his heart he can win this game either way. Either way. He also is tired of answering the questions. But again, that's the consequences of your own actions, Kyle. But yeah, like that. No, it is 100%.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree, because like there's a reason they keep asking. It's because he's not giving answers, and like it's literally the media's job. He's getting mad at the media for asking questions, which I don't blame him for, because a lot of football guys like Bill Belichick want to keep this shit quiet. But
right,
I'll digress.
Odds that the SRO does a crossover with the Rams podcast. To quote the great Mike Tomlin, never say never, but never. Not this.
Not this way. No, I was going to say, to quote Vince McMahon, never say never. But we both got our quote. Matthew Yukazomi Kirigiri, I apologize. We've been owning the Rams since before McVay. Remember Jeff Fisher?
What?
Yeah, no,
Well,
but I think it's a little different because Jeff Fisher, I mean, the joke is 7-9 Rams. McVay took this Rams team to a Super Bowl, and this Rams team has consistently been a playoff team, and the Niners
and
have
that
beaten them
Super
no
Bowl
matter
year,
what.
they kind of whipped up on the Niners a little bit. They kind of whipped up on the Niners. It was after that when Garoppolo showed up and they actually had him play was when things kind of switched. So let's just remember that. Justin, get some in and out, Jason. I'm not talking about in and out. Appreciate you, Justin. I am
Big
not
in and out
talking
guy.
about that anymore.
Big in and
I'm
out
not
guy.
talking about it anymore. Here
Don
he is.
Burr, how you doing? Hey, who do the Lions play this week?
Let's go, my boy.
I'm assuming it's either the Packers, Bears, or Vikings. Don Burr, hey man, this is week 18. This is the last game of the season. Don Burr, if you're still here, McVay cannot be 6-3 against the Niners.
He's lost 5 straight.
He's lost 5 straight.
Yeah.
Don Burr, I love that you've been here since week 1 and since before week 1. There we go. McVay, I think he had it backwards 3-6.
Yes.
There we go.
But he was 3-1.
He was
and then he lost 5 straight.
So. But I'm excited that Don Burr's still here.
Hell yeah.
I know we say your name a lot and it's kind of turned into a meme, but we love you and we appreciate.
It's not a meme. You're a part of 49ers Twitter now, Don.
You're a part of 49ers. I'm still waiting for the follow from him. I think I found him. I'm not going to say his name on Twitter because he wants to keep it private, but I think I found him.
They got the Packers this week.
Go beat Aaron Rodgers. Go have fun with that. Is Rodgers even playing?
Yeah.
Is he? Okay, because the Packers are playing for literally nothing.
Yeah. They kind of came out today and saying that. So, but
this isn't a Packers podcast, but I figured
Jason's everywhere. Appreciate you, Don Burr, man.
Jason is everywhere.
You're everywhere, buddy. You're everywhere. You I promise you. Like whenever anything good happens to the Lions, or unfortunately bad, we're just like, damn it, man. Like we are like aside from week 1, we know it's Detroit versus everybody, but aside from week 1, we're all low key Lions fans because of you, man.
We love it. Michael Maness has a question, and it's a question that I actually kind of wanted to touch on. Does it feel like the Rams are due? They lost the last 5.
Law of averages says yes.
Yes. Like as fun as it is to say the Niners are going to win this game because Kyle Shanahan dominates Sean McVay, I don't think that's a fair thing to say because it's way deeper than that. All it takes, like I guarantee you, Jason, we're talking about this 2-man over top preventing the big play. All it takes is the Rams to change the way they do that, right? Go one top, stop the underneath stuff, and this game is totally different, right? That's all it takes. That small thing. Now, whether or not they're going to make a big adjustment like that, I don't know. But like it. I think this is a very fair question to ask. And yeah, the Rams are definitely due. I think if we're talking the law of what due means, if we're talking about a baseball player who's 1 for 17, we say they're due, right? They're due for a hit. The Rams are due for a win. And I don't think there's a better time for the Los Angeles Rams to beat the San Francisco 49ers than in a situation where they can not only clinch the NFC West, but can knock the 49ers out of the playoffs. So yeah, I would say the Rams feel like they're due.
Think about this. You know how people say, man, you can't beat a team 3 times in a season? 5? They absolutely do. And that's a fine way of looking at it. I am being a homer, positive. Oh, wow, that's a word, positive, because, I'm so negative from what everybody says about me on Twitter and everything. I'm always so negative, always, right? Like most most negative guy. Just because I do a show with Grant Cohn once a week, I'm so negative, right? Like
negative.
Me and him are just super negative.
I've always called you negative, Aponte.
But at the same time, man, I just have faith in Kyle Shanahan. I believe in Kyle Shanahan. I believe in what this offensive philosophy can do, and I believe in what my eyes have told me about the Rams and how they react to winning teams. If they beat the 49ers, they're not only breaking a streak of 5 losses to the 49ers, they're breaking their streak of actually beating a team with a winning record. And I know they beat the Ravens and they have a winning record. I get that. But that's not Lamar Jackson. So for me, that doesn't count. That doesn't count. So they have to show me something that they haven't been able to do not only in 2 or 3 years, they haven't been able to do all year, basically. So that's where I'm at with it. And that sounds like a homer take. But realistically, there's 3. It's about the fact that they can't beat winning teams. That's it. They can't beat winning teams, man. They just can't. They are not built like that. They take their ball, they go home when they are punched in the face, when things don't go well. And that's where I'm at with it.
I like the realistically counter. Maybe we'll get a
That's
graphic
3.
on this. We'll get a graphic on the screen, and I'll press
That's
a
3.
button every time. So yeah, man. I mean, I absolutely agree. I believe in Kyle Shanahan for this game. I always have. Don Burr doesn't seem to have the trust in Stafford.
Don't read this one. Don't read it. Just leave it up there. This is really good though. Yeah, this is a great comment, man. This is a really great comment.
Okay.
You know why? I feel that one in my soul. And I feel personally attacked and seen a little bit, but I get it.
Anyways, I believe in Kyle Shanahan, but as I said, it's a little, it's deeper than that, man. This, as we said, and obviously the Monday night game, it kind of changed my view on it. Where we both picked the Rams to win the first one.
Oh yeah,
we're not running away from that.
Bozo.
We don't know anything. We're podcasters. We don't.
Oh yeah,
know.
That's what you get for trying to drum up a clickbaits. You're trying to drum up clicks to your podcast.
My favorite take, and it kind of reared its head because Jordan shared my my pro day tape. Is people like, these are the people who are trying to tell you who should be the quarterback. I'm like, I've never told anybody who should be the quarterback. I just give my opinions, whether you want to take it or not, whatever.
We don't acknowledge people that are weirdos behind burner accounts. They don't deserve our attention.
Well, I mean, especially considering it's January, he should know what it's like just meeting up at a place with a bunch of friends and just having a good time, in your opinion.
The problem is this particular person that you're speaking about is miserable, a terrible person, a dumbass on top of all of those things. So
Damn.
like it doesn't matter. Yeah, you heard what I said. I don't care.
Hey,
I hope you're watching,
okay.
buddy. I hope you're watching, buddy. I know who you are. Don't play with me.
Anyways, yeah, man, it's hard for me to sit back and be confident in the 49ers to win this game because of what the Rams can be. That's all it is. And I think that's always going to be in the back of my mind. Yes, I get it. The Niners have won 5 in a row. They beat they beat the Rams with Matt Stafford, even though I never thought they could. But it's deeper than that. If the Rams play their game and actually figure out a way to stop the Niners run game, this is a different conversation. And I really, really hope that
if you know, and everybody else seems to know in the comments exactly who I'm talking about. He don't deserve attention, but again, don't talk shit behind a block. Remember, I know who you are. And I seen you in 4K, bro. Don't play with me. I let it slide, though. I let it slide because it's all about positivity. Mav, thank you, bro. I let it slide.
Thank you for the donation.
I let it slide because it's all about positivity in 2022, bro. We're not giving no negative energy, but don't play with me.
So listen, man, I really hope on Monday we come back and we have a conversation about how Kyle Shanahan owns Sean McVay. I'm not confident that's the case right now. That's all I'm going to say. About that, Jason, we're at about 45 minutes. Do we want to roll into the predictions, or what do you want to do?
Well, I just want to say I guess we could say it after. Let's just go to the predictions, and then we'll talk about that.
Okay, before the predictions, Jason, I'm going to say some words. I'm going to recommend you to go to the private chat we have real quick. I don't know if you've seen it yet. While you're doing that, I am going to say, if you're new here, if you're old here and haven't done it yet, Jason Aponte's YouTube channel is my favorite YouTube channel. I've heard of whispers that people are saying he's the 2021 version of Jenna Marbles in terms of popularity and fun and knowledge. I've heard that. I don't know if anybody else has. So subscribe, like all the videos, turn on those notifications because Jason Aponte is a fantastic YouTuber, and he's my favorite YouTuber. Jason, I told you my prediction before the show. Do you want me to start with my prediction, or do you want to start with yours?
Well, first of all, before we do that, you were talking about YouTube. Shout out to everybody in here. We passed 5,000 subs. Right now, it's not Jason Aponte, it's 5KJ is what we're running with. And I appreciate all of you.
Podcast over. No predictions.
Yeah, no predictions. We're done. No.
I'm never calling you 5KJ.
You don't have to. You don't have to. It's out there, but no, I appreciate all of you guys. Again, when we
Yeah.
started this, when I started this channel, when we started this podcast, we would never have thought that anybody would
No.
have ever cared, anything like that. But yes, man, appreciate you guys. Mav, we're working on it. The only reason that I don't do a call-in show, man, is I'm seeing some of the things that happen with other people, and I'm nervous, man.
Not enough. Yeah, there's not enough control of a call. And if we ever get to a point with like a producer, which like that's way down the road, we could talk about it. But yeah, it's not gonna happen. But we do our best. We do have I mean, comments are a way of having callers. And also we talk about after dark, things like that. So we try our best to have as much conversation going.
Yeah, and we can do it right now in the comments, but I've seen too many things happen to
Mhm.
other people that is so childish, and I just look. I'll tell you this, and this is a shout out to Jesse Naylor, man, because I saw what happened to him on his channel. This is terrible, man. If right now after I built this up to 5,000, I got it taken away, I don't know if I'd have the heart to immediately go right
Yeah.
back and start it up again, man. I really don't. I just don't. I applaud him because he won't be stopped, but I couldn't. I just couldn't, man. I couldn't. I would be devastated, man. I would be devastated, especially because how long all of this took. And I know for a fact it would never go right back. So, Justin, real quick, felt a lot better with Josh Norman off the field. Shutout. Exactly. So, yeah, that's the good thing about Ambry Thomas, right? Is everybody's like, well, everybody's flipping the script on Ambry Thomas. Well, it's also that we really don't want to see Josh Norman on the field. But yeah, let's get to predictions. Let's do it.
Rams 27, 49ers 17.
Get his ass off the pod. Kick his ass out, man.
Own me, man. Listen, as I said, if there's going to be a game, and I'm going to make a deal with you guys right now. If the Rams lose this game, I'm not picking the Rams to beat the Niners until they prove they can beat the Niners. I wish I was as convinced on the Shanahan owns McVay thing as you guys are. I'm just looking at the pure talent, and the Niners have a ton of talent. I get it, but you look at the quarterback position, regardless of who it is, I have to believe Matt Stafford's going to have a better game than he did the first time. I would like to think I live in a world where I like to think teams adjust, and I like to think the Rams will adjust this game defensively. They haven't done it, and I'm hoping the sixth time. I'm not hoping. I'm hoping they don't adjust, but my prediction is they will adjust. I'm going to go Rams 27. I'm going to go Niners 17. And I'm not going to give a prediction on the Saints Falcons because if that happens, it would come down to Saints Falcons. And I don't want to be put in a position where I rely on the Atlanta Falcons because that doesn't seem like a fun thing to do. But that's just where I'm at right now. And that could change on Sunday, man. I could wake up Sunday and be like, no, the Niners are winning this game. But right now, as of 6:17 p.m. on January 7, 2022, I'm going Rams 27, 49ers 17. And I went first because Jason Aponte, what's your prediction?
The 49ers are playing for the hopes of 49ers fans and America. No pressure, buddy. And what I mean by that is, if the 49ers lose and the Saints win, you as football consuming Americans will have to watch Taysom Hill actually try to quarterback in a wild card game. And nobody in America wants that. Nobody.
You're right.
Nobody in America wants that. 49ers win this game 27-20. It's going to be a lot closer. The 49ers are going to be in a much bigger dogfight. I expect the Rams to come out here and not lay an egg because for whatever reason, the last 5 times that the 49ers have played the Rams have played their worst game of the season every single time. And you cannot, law of averages, expect that to happen. I have too much faith in what Kyle Shanahan can do, this team, this moment, the physicality of this team, which is something that nobody wants to see. The Rams definitely don't want to see. And while the Rams have improved in run defense, they still haven't done something that is impressing me, which is win against winning teams. I got the 49ers in the playoffs, and they don't need the Falcons' help at all. They don't. And that's a homer take. Cool. But right now, from what I know, schematically, from what I know, what Kyle wants to do, and it really doesn't matter what quarterback starts in this game. I'm also going to say that. I am much more worried if Trent Williams can't go. If Trent Williams for some reason, doesn't play, which I expect him to fully play. If Trent Williams doesn't, if he doesn't play, the 49ers don't win. I don't care who the quarterback is. Not Trey, not Aaron Rodgers, not Jesus. I don't care. But if Trent Williams plays, doesn't really matter. And if Jimmy Ward's back, and the secondary is healthy, and you're getting this entire defense back, and you know what they want to do. Matthew Stafford is leading the league in pick sixes. This team has been great on defense week after week. The one thing that they want to do is run the ball, and the 49ers have been great at run defense. Give me the 49ers 27-20. It's going to be a closer game than it's been. Obviously, you can't expect what's going to happen in Monday Night Football, but the 49ers will be playing next week based on that.
There you go. Paul, thank you for the donation. This is the best duo on YouTube. If this Sunday is the end, it's been a hell of a ride with you dudes. I'll be in LA on Sunday. Are you going to the game, Paul? So let's go Niners. Hey, we appreciate it, Paul. You've been here since day one. We love you.
Enjoy the game, buddy. Enjoy the game. And be loud. Anybody who's going to that game, be loud, man. Let them know. There are no Rams fans. There's 5 of them.
Paul, I hope this game goes better for you than the Wolves Man U game went on Monday for you. I had to add that in there.
No, he's talking football. The other kind. Kick his ass out, man.
Footy. Jason, I'll leave it up to you. The question I asked in the chat because I haven't seen a response.
Yeah,
up to you.
All right. We're gonna end the audio portion here. How about some sprint right option after dark? I mean, a little bit.
We're gonna have fun.
It's the last game of the season finale. Let's have some fun. Ask some questions. If they're directly correlated to the game, cool. If you want to talk about what they should do during the season, if you want to talk about every other thing, because it seems like we talk about life.
If you just want to talk about life, let's talk about life. We're here. Hey, we want to keep it light though, because listen, this is going to be a stressful game. The Niners are playing for their playoff life. Let's just have fun with this conversation. Let's talk. The Anchor, we appreciate it. Thank you. And of course, man, Jason and I are both mental health advocates. We really appreciate that comment.
For sure.
So we're going to try and keep it light because this game is going to be stressful. It's not going to be a fun watch because if the Niners fall behind 7-0, early on, you're going to see my timeline go into a meltdown. You're going to see a lot of timelines go into a meltdown. So let's just have some fun. Let's have some relaxing conversation. Let's talk football. You got a question about football? Let's talk about it. Josh, we'll start with this question after because we're wrapping up this podcast portion. So audio listeners, this is the end. Hopefully we have a good podcast, a positive podcast for you come Sunday or Monday, whenever we end up recording. Jason Aponte, as always.
It's been a pleasure serving by your side for this season, Andrew Pasquini. And also, let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners.
Welcome, everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners.
Sprint Ride Option Podcast.
Hey, we're here.
All right. Well, before we get this going, I'm going to jump off real quick. Andrew, if you want to answer some questions and things real quick, I'm just going to refresh. I'm going to refill my glass because it's Friday. Hey. I'm also toasting to... I'm also toasting to the season, right? This has been a long year. You and I have been doing this, so enjoying my Friday, reflection is really what's going on right now because Sunday could be the last game, even though I don't think it will. So I'll be back.
Hello, it is the Andrew Pasquini portion of the Sprint Ride Option podcast where we're only going to talk about no, I'm joking. We're not talking about baseball. Josh, I saw your question at the top, and I don't have the ability to pull questions up. Jason has that, so I'm not going to be able to put them on the screen, so I apologize. Josh Thomas Ehrlich asks, who would you guys like to see on man defense covering Cup? To me personally, if Emmanuel Mosley can go, he's the guy I would feel most comfortable with on him. The Niners don't follow. They don't do the follow thing with receivers. So we're going to see some matchups with ideally Ambry Thomas. I would rather see Ambry Thomas start over Josh Norman at this point of the season. I think that's obvious to everybody. But if I had to pick somebody, it'd probably have to be Emmanuel Mosley. And obviously, if the Rams put him in the slot, you're going to get a lot of K1 Williams on him. He's tough to stop, man. I mean, there's a reason people are talking about him like he is. I mean, he's 2 receptions off of 140. And I understand that, 17-game season, numbers are a little inflated this season. But at the same time, 138 receptions in a 16-game season is ridiculous in itself. So I think your best bet is Emmanuel Mosley, but it's really going to come down to where the Rams choose to line him up because the Niners aren't going to follow. Jason's back, so I'm going to disappear for 1 second. And
okay.
and grab something. I'm just gonna turn my mic off for 2 minutes. So Jason, it's your turn.
Okay. So I want to take Joey's question real quick. I would like to be a Niners content creator. Any tips? I think we've kind of touched on it a few other times, but have fun, just be passionate, and also realize that it's a lot of work. I think that a lot of people just think it's easy to just throw up a stream, talk football, and people are going to immediately engage with that. But it takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of repetition, watching yourself, being able to nitpick yourself in a way that is constructive without tearing yourself down. And you're always going to have feelings of, man, am I built for this? Man, is this really something that I can achieve? But as long as you just stick to the fun and the passion portion of it, people are going to gravitate to that. The people who get into this game to just make money, that gets seen through immediately. The people who are passionate and the ones who want to do better and admit their flaws and are trying to learn more as they go along or go through the process, those are the ones who stick around more than anything. And everybody who gets it fast, they lose it fast. I know I've said that a bunch of times, but that's just how I feel. Andrew?
And I want to add to it because, I was at a point where I kind of bounced around, tried a few different things in terms of not specifically Niner content, but more, I had a podcast about the Giants where I talked by myself for 30 minutes. That wasn't working. San Francisco Giants, not New York Giants. Don't be afraid to recognize when things aren't working and try something new. Because, you never know when you will, meet some bozo from New Jersey and have a semi-decently successful podcast with them. And I mean,
a semi-popular podcast.
Yeah. And like, I hate talking about, my personal numbers and all. Numbers to me don't matter. But I definitely felt like, I kind of plateaued on the Twitter thing last year before this podcast started because, I've had Twitter for damn near 10 years because, I like social media and all that. I'm coming up on my 10 year. And I kind of plateaued at 350 followers. And it was, it kind of got discouraging and it kind of taught me not to worry about those numbers. And then, I found the thing that clicked, that bozo from New Jersey I referenced. It ended up working out. And, now I'm at 1,300 followers. People started following me when I was able to feel like I was doing what I enjoyed the most. It was talking to Jason and having these conversations and having fun with it, where things in the past, I tried to be a little more serious with it. So don't be afraid to change things up too. If you feel like you've run into a wall, try and do something a little different, see how that feels and see what happens. It's a process, man. As Joel Embiid says, trust the process.
Yeah, and this is good too. I've been on Gennaro's podcast, and make sure you subscribe to that.
I have too.
Why We're Fans.
Very fun podcast.
Yes, very fun. I love that. I love that portion of it because another thing that I feel like I've kind of lost a little bit in terms of this because I want to be objective. I want to be, I want to give analysis. I've kind of lost a little bit of my fandom, just a little bit, right? Because I missed the days of the barbershop talk and just defending my team no matter what, even if it was wrong, right? Like, oh, your team is this team. It doesn't matter. You're not better than my team. But now, because of all of that, I feel like I've kind of lost that fan edge of it. Like, I still enjoy going to the games and watching the team, and I get excited and things like that. But I think that because I've been trying to be so objective down the line in the middle, sometimes I lose that a little bit. So Gennaro's podcast is really good because Why We're Fans, he asks the questions about how did this happen? How do you feel about this? And I get to get away from analysis and more talk about how I fell in love with this team that I've wanted to cover a lot of my life. And I think that's what I love about it. So shout out to G. If you're not following, make sure you follow that because it's great.
And G, I'm definitely itching to talk some San Francisco Giants. Just throwing that one out there. So just DM's open.
Yankees winning a championship for once this year? No, Josh. No. Wait a minute. Is baseball even going to play?
It's baseball, they'll play when they feel like it, not feeling great right now, but I'm, in my opinion, if we can talk baseball for a second, I think a deal will come before spring training. I think both sides will be very motivated not to lose part of the season like they did in 2020. So I think we'll get baseball this year.
And also, Manfred is the biggest bozo in sports history.
Own
I mean,
that bozo.
how dare you get rid of Ken Rosenthal, who is a GOAT? That is literally like the NFL saying, Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, get your ass out of here. Or NBA saying, Woj Shams, get your ass out of here. That is ridiculous, man. Manfred, you are a fraud, bro. And I thought I hated Bud Selig because he got into the Hall of Fame while allowing everybody to take steroids and skirted all of the blame for that because it was all good when steroids brought baseball back from the 1994 strike. Yes, I am that old and I remember. But Manfred, you're a fraud, bro. Get his ass out of here, man. I swear to God. He is getting me to a point where even if this shit does come back, I might not go back to watching the Yankees.
I did not expect such a passionate baseball take at this point of the football season. I love this. I love this.
Ken Rosenthal? Are you kidding me? For what? Calling you out on your bullshit? Get out of here.
I think we just eliminated any chance we've ever wanted with Rob Manfred on this podcast.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters.
Oh, well. Yo, G.
Hey,
appreciate you, bro.
Thank you. I think we've had other...
we got a Rams troll in here? This is awesome. What's up, Marketing Pro? How's it going, buddy?
Hey, it's okay if you show your real name. We love Don Burr. It's totally cool, man. Hashtag Ramley, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's one of the 7 Rams fans. Shout out to you for being here, man.
Hey, man.
That's awesome.
How's USC going to do this year, though?
Who? He's talking college football, man. Get his ass out of here. Real quick, Cook and Smoke Sports. I am an East Coaster. My father's from the Bronx. He lived literally blocks away from Yankee Stadium. The Yankees are not a bandwagon. They are in my blood. Mm-hmm. In my blood. I adopted the 49ers. The Yankees don't get adopted. In this household, you do not ever go against the Yankees because my father is a Bronx person.
I want to take Frank's question because I think he actually asked that during the actual podcast. Okay. So I wanted to address it. I apologize. We missed it. That's on us. Is it realistic for Kyle to think if Jimmy is about 80% healthy to sit him and start Trey and hope to have Jimmy back 100% for the dance? Yeah. I am very, I think that's a very real theory because it's obvious at this point that Kyle Shanahan is more comfortable with Jimmy Garoppolo. I think it's very odd. He is literally trying to move mountains to get Jimmy Garoppolo ready for this game. I think this is very fair that he might say, hey, we could go Trey, maybe lose, maybe win. I think it's a maybe lose, maybe win if you start Jimmy, but then we can make sure Jimmy's healthy for the playoffs because let's be honest, Trey gives them just as good a chance to win as Jimmy does. Like I think that's obvious at this point, guys. And that's not a knock on Jimmy. He's limited in what he can do, and that we know that. So yeah, I think that's a very realistic thing to think.
Here's the thing. Here's my problem with the whole back and forth.
I love Marketing Pro right now.
He's really good. I like it. He's
throwing
it really hard. I love it. If he would have came out last week and said, we're going to sit Jimmy because I know I can win this game with Trey because I want him ready for the Rams game, I think people wouldn't have cared because they could have won that game with Sudfeld. They could have won that game with Mohamed Sanu, who's going to be the starter on Sunday because Kyle's playing misdirection with everybody. It's going to be the highest rated Atlanta Falcons passer of all time. That's not a joke. Go look it up. But is it realistic for Kyle to think Jimmy is only 80% to sit him and start Trey to have him 100% for the dance? If that's your intentions, say it.
Yeah.
You really don't – this whole competitive advantage thing, you think Raheem Morris is just going to be like, oh, my God, all week we've been preparing for Jimmy Garoppolo, and here comes Trey Lance. What do we do? Trey Lance is not the only running quarterback in the league. They faced Kyler Murray twice. It's not the competitive advantage that many people believe it to be. They're not going to change much. That's who they are. They're going to run too high. That's the thing. Is the Rams haven't adjusted. They didn't change any of that when they faced Kyler Murray. So why would they be caught off guard by all of this? I think Kyle likes 2 things. 1, pissing off the media. And 2, pissing off this fan base. Because he knows everybody wants to know. But he doesn't care. I don't think this whole play it close to the vest thing is as big as a competitive advantage as people believe it. I don't know.
And part of my issue with it too is he can play the he can play the I'm not giving any information out thing because Bill Belichick has played it for 25 years, but I don't think he's allowed to play the I love it. I
I
love
love it. He's doing a great job.
he thinks he's getting to us, but like we love this. We love it when other fans come
Oh,
in
I
and
don't
talk.
care.
Yeah, exactly. We love it when other teams come in and
You know
talk.
what?
It's
So, but
great.
here's the joke. Here's the real joke, and here's the punchline to that joke. Every time you comment, you keep sending my show to the algorithm.
To the
You're getting
algorithm,
more eyes on
baby.
it, buddy.
Um,
Shout out to you, marketing pro. You are doing the Lord's work. You truly are a marketing pro.
we love it. We
Truly.
love it. Hey, make sure you retweet too. That annoys us as well. No, but I don't. If Kyle's gonna play the I'm not gonna give any information out game, he's not allowed to play the I'm annoyed with you asking me every day game. And I think that's my issue with it because, as I said, I tend to lean on the media because you know, to me, and I know people get annoyed. Like, of course he's not going to answer the question. You've already asked him. Their job is literally to get these quotes. So, like, when you're saying, like, of course he's not going to, you're literally asking the media to not do their job. Maybe one day they get Kyle to say it. Who knows? You know, things like that. Hi, IG. But I just, I like. He can't be annoyed by the question every time he gets asked it when he's intentionally not answering because he likely knows who the starter is. And all he has to say is this. You ready for this, Kyle Shanahan? And this isn't giving anything away. You look at that camera and you say it with confidence. You just don't go every 3 seconds. You say, if I feel like Jimmy Garoppolo is healthy enough to play, he will play. If he is not healthy enough to play, Trey Lance will play. There is your answer, but you are not giving anything away. People will ask about the injury status of Jimmy Garoppolo, and you lie. You say what you feel is best. Whatever. I think lie gets you in trouble, but you say what you feel is best in that situation. So I think there's way. I mean, that's not even a roast, marketing pro. That's just a fact. I'm sorry.
Well, two things. Here's how it's a roast. One, it's Van Jefferson. Two, Josh Norman's not playing.
But Von Jefferson might burn Norman. Who knows? He doesn't real.
Who's Von?
But,
Von is that Von Miller or Von Jefferson? What are we doing here, marketing pro? If we're gonna troll, like let's pick it up a little bit. Let's pick it up a little bit.
Let's
just a little bit.
Hey, marketing pro, what you think of the Kurt Warner movie?
But
yeah, I guess that's my point on the Shanahan. Like, I'm cool with him playing coy with the media. But you can't get frustrated and annoyed when they keep asking.
Okay, let's see. Good question here from the anchor. Why do you think Kyle's first 25 scripted plays are so good, the next 25 poor, and the final normally better? This is an amazing question. So Kyle does what he does in terms of game plan and sees where he can beat a team, and that usually works well. But then the other thing is that the team adjusts back.
Mm-hmm.
And when they start to do things that are a little bit different, it takes Kyle out of his comfort zone. And if his quarterback isn't executing the offense, whoever it is, Trey or Jimmy, I'm not trying to pick on Jimmy here. If he's not executing those plays that he's against the adjustments, then Kyle goes into a shell a little bit. And he kind of play calls scared. Like, okay, I know these plays are not going to work. I'm ripping this out of the playbook. And I think sometimes that works because if a guy's not be able to make those throws, then why keep calling it? But sometimes, you know how you throw a pass to somebody and they drop a pass, mm-hmm. and then immediately, so they forget about it, you immediately go right back to them and you get them the pass and they catch it and they're good. Sometimes maybe that could be good, right? And it might be give and take. It doesn't always have to be that. Like if you have no confidence in it, then rip it all out. That's fine. But sometimes going right back to something when, a guy misses a wide open shot or a guy hits, drops a pass and you get him that confidence right back might be applied here. And then finally, normally better, the final portion, he's pretty good at the second half. Like coming out in the second half, like, okay, I've seen everything. We've got everything. Boom. Let's hit him here, here, and here. So while we laud Kyle for being a genius, I just start to think in my mind how hard it is to be a guy who has to, on the fly, immediately make changes, beat defenses, and that is what hangs in the balance. And that's what McVay doesn't necessarily do well. He does it well mid-season, right? Philosophy changes happen almost every year. halfway through the year with the Rams. They start off on fire, people catch on, he changes it up, and they get back on track. In game, he's not as good. And again, when he gets punched, I don't want to play anymore. Or I'm out of sorts. Fake field goals on Monday Night Football. Those are your examples. So I think that's what it is. I think we saw a donation in here real quick.
Yeah, we got a couple, I believe.
Oh, couple.
Around here.
Let's go.
Mike S had, did you guys watch Haberman and Middlecoff with Dante Whitner's take, preferring to start Jimmy? Thoughts if so? I saw it, yeah. And I mean, as I said, my thing comes down to, like, yes, Trey Lance might be more talented than Jimmy Garoppolo. That's fine and all. But there's a comfort level with Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance, let's be honest, he's still a little bit of the unknown. And I don't blame anybody for wanting to start Jimmy Garoppolo over Trey Lance. I know a lot of people make a big deal out of it on Twitter, but you know what you're going to get from Jimmy, and you know that if he is not making mistakes and not turning the ball over, he's probably going to play fine enough for you guys, for the Niners to win. So I'm fine with preferring Jimmy over Lance. I'm not as far off on that as a lot of people are.
I think his point is that Kyle's way more comfortable with a guy who has executed the game plan many times as opposed to a guy who has to execute the game plan for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And Whitner's been very critical of Jimmy too. And that's not a bad sentiment either.
No.
So I understand that portion of it. The part that gets me a little bit scared is Jimmy's sailing throws.
Mm-hmm.
He's not converting those third downs. The game starts to get a little out of hand, like maybe 14-0. And then you say, all right, kid, you're in. Save our season. And that's not fair.
Mm-hmm.
That's not fair at all. So, again, I don't want to be dramatic, but it would only be right that this game rides on this decision from Kyle Shanahan. Win, and you look like a genius, and you nailed it. And Jimmy Garoppolo gets his flowers as this gutty guy, gutted it out. Completely beat the Rams. Put him on a legend. But if you don't, all offseason, people are going to say not only did you waste the season and you didn't play the right guy at the right time, you should have been playing Trey from week one. Fascinating of outcomes in this game. Fascinating. And that's why the content will never stop.
No.
You don't have to clickbait. This team is clickbait.
Mm-hmm.
This team is clickbait. We don't have to do anything but just exist. All we got to do is just go live. The content writes itself. The 49ers have been a circus the entire year. Everybody wants to clown other organizations. The 49ers are that circus that you clown. They just win a little bit more. They got more pieces. Josh wants to know, who wins in a UFC fight between Goodell and Manfred? Give me Goodell all day, man. He better win this one. Because if there is a worst commissioner debate, I think it's between those two.
My guess would be Gary Bettman and Rob Manfred.
I was going to say, so I don't know much about the NHL. That was going to be my next.
It's a sport that locked out and missed the whole season. That's kind of rough.
Oh, well, I didn't even know because it's not a real sport. Oh, I'm just kidding.
It's a joke.
It is a joke.
Don't get mad at us hockey.
But Goodell, it has his own issues in terms of how personal issues and how things off the field are viewed for certain people as opposed to other people. So I don't know. I have my thoughts on those things. I got Goodell. He plays he's a commissioner of the more physical sport. You damn well better.
I'm gonna say nobody wins because there's no chance in hell Rob Manfred signs for that fight. He wouldn't even show up. That's just the most honest way I can answer that.
All right,
thank
let's
you.
see. What else we got here? Let's see.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about something that's really funny, like that the Rams used to be? Do you remember? All right, this might be past your time, Andrew. I'm old, so I remember this. I remember the birth of ESPN2 and how it was very much like, why are you even doing this? We don't have time to watch this. Jim Rome initially got his start. You know, obviously other places, but ESPN2 is where he largely got a lot of his fame. And he had Jim Everett Rams legend,
Okay.
Saints legend,
Okay.
on his show. And apparently, I guess on his radio show on the side, had been calling him Chris Everett, tennis legend, a woman. And Jim Everett joins the show, and there's a bit of a standoff between the two of them. And Jim Everett says, "Hey, I've been hearing you calling me Chris or whatever or something to that degree," and says, "If you call me Chris one more time, we're gonna have you're gonna have to take a commercial break or something." And then he says it again, and and Jim Everett flips the table and knocks like Jim Rome on his ass.
I've seen that.
Yeah, dude. That's why the new success that the Rams have, largely the Rams are known for things like that, the ineptitude before that, all of those things, wasting Eric Dickerson's career. Like, that's the stuff that people really gravitate to more than they do. And remember, the Rams, when they won their Super Bowl, they were the St. Louis Rams.
Yeah. And I mean, I really grew up the Rams. I mean, my first football memories are the Rams being, I don't want to say a dynasty, but they were the best team at the time when I was remembering things.
Wait.
Yes.
Me against Brad? Good God, man.
It's not even the right weight class.
Not even, listen.
Jason weighs like 12 pounds.
Quick story about me and Brad. When we met for the first time in Mobile, and him and I, everybody was like, we're going out, we're going to the bar. I wanted to talk football with this man. We had connected right there in Mobile. Mm-hmm. We started to talk about the intricacies of offensive line play because Brad Graham is the offensive line guru. Don't mess around. You can't play with him. And he asked me, "Hey, try to he's like, stand in front of me, try to make this move on me." This man, almost by accident, almost grabbed me and threw me through the window. And he was just not even putting any force on that. Brad Graham would snap me in half. I'm taller than Brad. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, who cares?
Who cares? That's a hunk of a man.
Listen, the best way I could describe this verbally, what would happen if Jason and Brad ever fought? You remember the highlight from Trent Williams against the Cardinals in Week 1 last year? That. Brad would just get a full head of steam and knock Jason on his ass. And that's just what it is.
I just have to be happy the fact that Brad is the biggest teddy bear in the world.
Oh, I love Brad.
Yes,
I love Brad so much, and I am so happy that he is his Instagram and his Twitter and his social media is succeeding as well as it is, because he is such a nice dude and he deserves all the great things for his channel. So
yes, shout out to Brad Graham and make sure you subscribe to his channel. That man,
go follow all his stuff. We need to get him on the pod again. We need to start talking guests if the off season's coming up here.
It's not coming up this week.
It's not. Yeah, no. In 5 weeks. 5 weeks, obviously.
So, Jamal, thank you for the donation. Brandon Ayuk, what's your outlook with him with Trey next year? I'm high on his ability to make plays off schedule. What do you think his ceiling is? Great question, Jamal. Here's the thing. Deebo Samuel is doing otherworldly things right now. Right? First player in football history, 300 rushing yards. I think it's 1,200 receiving yards. What Brandon Ayuk does with his route running lends itself more to Trey Lance than what Deebo does for Jimmy. And what I mean by that is Deebo runs routes very precise. And Jimmy wants to get the ball out on time. And Brandon Ayuk has a tendency to freestyle a little bit more. Also, I point to who worked out with Trey Lance in the offseason. It wasn't Deebo Samuel. It was Brandon Ayuk. This isn't a fantasy football podcast, but I will tell you this. If there is a buy for next year in any dynasty league that you're in, any sort of league, send an offer for Brandon Ayuk. Because in one game with Trey Lance, and it could have been much more if his left arm isn't held on that go route. Mm. How is that his best receiving game? That's no coincidence. That is no coincidence. Brandon Ayuk is about to have a very good season next year with Trey Lance under center because of the rapport that they built, and I feel that their styles mesh beautifully. He runs his routes a little bit freestyle-y at the top of the route, Trey Lance moves out of the pocket. He's not as quick. I want to get the ball out. He seems to be going through reads pretty well. Pretty well, actually. So it kind of works. Debo's going to get his. I'm not talking about writing Debo off. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what Brandon Ayuk can be with somebody who, one, he's built that rapport with, and two, meshes with his style a little bit better. It's clear that Jimmy Garoppolo loves Brandon Ayuk, Debo Samuel, because get him the ball quickly, boom, it's there, and then let him work. And that's smart. He loves George Kittle, and he'll get Brandon Ayuk the ball here and there. But I expect big things. So if you're in a dynasty league, free money, Brandon Ayuk, go get him.
Yeah, Debo Samuel's season hasn't really changed my mind on who the best receiver is on the 49ers. I think if we're just looking at the skills, I think Brandon Ayuk is that guy. I still think Brandon Ayuk has wide receiver 1 potential. And as I said, I've said it in the past, haven't said it in a while. When I say wide receiver 1, I don't mean the first receiver on the 49ers depth chart. I mean, he's one of the top tier receivers. It's kind of like when we talk about an ace in baseball, right? Not every number 1 starter is an ace, but there's aces in baseball. Brandon Ayuk has that ability to be a receiver 1 in this league and a top 10 receiver. And I think Trey Lance is only going to help that progression because you're going to see a little bit more. If Trey Lance develops like everybody hopes, the Niners are going to become more of a vertical team. We saw it a little bit last week. And I think that's only to add Ayuk being able to go over the top. Rich, if you want an invite, just ask and we will send you a link, buddy.
What? Rich who?
Rich keeps just saying hi. Rich, if you want the invite, let us know. Let us
Madrid?
Rich Madrid is here. If he wants an invite and he wants to join, he can join.
DMing now.
If you want the link, you can have it. So yeah, I'm excited to see because I think the Niners going more vertical is only going to help Brandon Ayuk's abilities. So that's where I'm at on
and
Ayuk.
To Jesse's comment right here, Jesse, I fumbled the bag at the last Senior Bowl. While I was trying to run over to Michael Carter, talk to Austin Watkins, Trey Lance was sitting in the stands during the game. And I didn't see. And I didn't notice. And knowing what we know now, that should have been the guy I was talking to.
Yeah.
So we talked to Michael Carter. We talked to his family. And I literally told Michael Carter's father, get this man in the Shanahan system and count up 1,500 yards. And funny enough, he did land in the Shanahan system, just not the optimal one. But yeah, this year, when you look at in terms of how things are going to go, it's going to be less reserved in terms of people being there. Like they've completely lifted everything. You have like it's going to be booming like it was 2 years ago. So yeah. Yeah, I blew it. We looked at his IG stories. Like me and Brad were sitting there. We were at some burger place, and he's like, Trey Lance was in the stands. And I was just like, oh, I was like, what on earth, man? We blew it. Like, so my lesson is I'll be there for the entire week. I'm gonna talk to everybody. And now we're gonna talk to we were at some burger place, and he's like, Trey Lance was in the stands. And I was just
Rich,
like, oh.
Rich, once again, I'm hearing Jason talk right now. So, Rich, if you could, I don't know what you need to do to get him stopped. No, that's okay. We're not audio recording right now. Those things happen. Rich Madrid, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm just at work, so I can't stay on for very long. But
well, I can't stay on for very long, much longer. There's tacos cooking. I smell it in the in that room over there in my kitchen. But it's good to see you, Rich. I'm surprised you didn't jump on and just call me a bozo.
Nah, it's a new year, man. I'm trying to lay off of that.
I love it. Everybody's trying to just be better. It's not about being perfect. It's about your attempts. And that's all I've been trying to preach.
Hey, Rich, I saw a question in the chat and I lost it. I remembered it, so I'm sorry. Oh, here we go. Saman asks, after 2 starts, who would you compare Trey to? And I think that's the perfect question to start this off with you. because I feel like you can give a pretty in-depth answer.
I'm probably going to get a lot of heat for this, but I was actually talking to my wife about this today because she's a big Kaepernick fan and supporter, but I think a lot of his mannerisms, a lot of like how he runs, how he throws looks eerily similar to Cap. Really,
yeah, I mean, I think I said it on Monday that throw to Debo. That's the one that stood out to me the most, and we haven't seen a 49ers quarterback put a ball in a line like that since Kaepernick. So that's probably the first name that came to my mind as well, just for that one throw.
It's like the running style, the throwing motion, just certain mannerisms. They just look the same.
Marketing Pro, is this your king?
That's him. That's one of the. I came in when you guys were talking about that. That's one of the greatest moments on sports TV ever.
It is. It is. It really is. And here's the thing, Rich, is because Andrew's a young buck, right? ESPN2 was in its
good side of 30.
Yeah, but ESPN2 was in its infancy stages, and when I got ESPN2 on cable, I was like, "What the hell?" I was like, "Another ESPN," and that was one of the shows that you used to watch, and it was just it was insane, right? Like to see the growth from ESPN being just one channel, and then you get a second channel, and now they've got like 30. It's just it all started from there.
I actually grew up going to Rams games and watching that guy play.
Shut up, man. I'm sorry, not you, Rich. Javi.
Well, Jason might be old, but I'm pretty sure I'm older than him. So
I don't know. Are you?
I think we had this conversation in the group chat.
Well, I'm 37.
Yeah, I got you beat by a year.
All right, whatever.
I'm 29. I got you beat by what? 8?
Shut
9?
up, youngster.
9.
Hey, Rich, I saw it snowed like hell up there a couple weeks ago. How's those hills? I know you're a big snowboarder. What's going on up there?
We can't get to any of them because all the roads are closed going up to all the.
Oh, it snowed that hard?
Dude, they've had so just on one like I-90. If anyone, I don't know if any of your listeners live up here, but I-90 just west of or east of Seattle, the mountain pass right there, Snoqualmie Pass, had 38 avalanches last night or yesterday.
In a day?
38 slides in a day. Yeah. Just
what? On
the western side of their slope, and it just buried everything.
Is that common? Like I've never lived around snow. Is 38 avalanches a lot in a day?
This much snow is insane for this time of year. We don't typically get this much snow until like February, maybe.
Oh, interesting.
Pause owning you real quick.
And it's more spread out. We've just been inundated with it since like 2 weeks ago.
Paul, casual own.
Rich Twitter is elite for 2 things.
Oh yeah. Sorry, Paul. I didn't see you were in the chat. All right, man. Come on.
Holy shit, man. Stop playing with me, Cap speaking. I don't remember Babe Ruth days. I remember Mickey Mantle days, but Jesus Christ, man, I'm not that old. God.
Is that why you never make the Shohei Babe Ruth comparison? Because you remember Babe and know he wasn't as good as Shohei is?
I mean, he's not, but whatever. We have a whole other discussion.
Jason is the first boomer.
First 49er. Yeah, you know what though? I'm not a boomer. I understand technology. I have to explain stuff to other people, man. It's just, you know what? My clothing that all keeps me young, right? Like I know a lot of you are shocked to find out that I'm 37, but I am. I turned 37.
I don't know. A very true story about this podcast. I texted Jason and said, "Hey, do you want to live stream this podcast?" And Jason asked, "What's a live stream?" I don't know what those are.
Shut up, Andrew! You liar! What a liar!
He was plugging it into his rotary phone.
Yeah, I was like, do I put in my AOL disc into my CD-ROM drive? Like, is that how we do this?
No, Rich's Twitter is great for 2 things. All 22 tape breakdown, which, by the way, JT O'Sullivan's video was fantastic. Rich Madrid had it first for sources. But he's also really good with the snowboarding pictures. It's beautiful up in those mountains of Washington. And I'm trying
to go tomorrow, but only one resort's going to be open because it's the only road that's open out here. So we'll see how packed it is. I might turn around if there's a lot of traffic.
It snowed for the first time on the East Coast today, and I just want to reiterate that snow is the wildest of trash, the hottest of trash. Nobody likes snow. Everybody who likes snow are the people that don't have to dig their stupid cars out of a snowstorm, right? Like everybody just thinks snow is awesome, right? Like right, Rich? Like
Or you drive a
everybody.
car that handles in the snow and don't have to dig it out.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jason, I just want to throw it out. I think Javi's asking for a link.
Javi, let's go, man. Let's go. I will send it right now, man. I will send it right now, but let's get it.
What were you at? You were talking about the JT O'Sullivan video?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
had it first. You had a lot of the
your
observations
thread
first.
was relatively spot on to what an NFL quarterback saw.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I mean, he pointed. There's some things that he saw that I didn't, or that I, not that I didn't consider, but that I just had a different take on. But, so he probably had some. He was probably a little more harsh on some of the plays in the first half than I was, just because, I'm obviously not an NFL quarterback, but.
You sure?
Obviously not. I don't look like one.
I would start you over Jimmy this week.
In terms of attractiveness, I think I'd take Rich Madrid over Jimmy too.
Oh man, now we're deep in the weeds here.
What a bozo!
There it is. I got it, man. Perfect.
I'd take Jimmy over me. That's for sure.
What in looks or quarterback wise? Because you can read a defense probably better. Oh damn, man, we're after dark. My bad. I shouldn't be talking like that.
Rich, are the Niners winning on Sunday? That's what people want to know.
My heart says yes. My brain says no.
That's where I'm at.
And that's fair, right? Like we talked about it
I don't have a
times.
good feeling about this one.
6 times. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's a lot, man. Well, didn't Seattle beat the 49ers, more than that in a row?
Probably.
Yes.
I don't know.
But
I wish it didn't have to be a game this important. I think that's where I'm at is I feel like there is no more likely outcome than, we talk about this 5-game winning streak for the Niners, but history's not going to remember it because the one they actually needed to win is the one they lost. And I guess you can make the argument because the first one was the 2019. No, the first one was 2019 first game. So yeah, that's 5. But this is the first one they needed to win.
Yeah, I mean, they needed to win that one in 29. The second one in 2019.
The second, they needed that, but they were still going to the playoffs.
They were already in. Yeah, it didn't matter. But losing that, they could have been a 5 seed. So, and that
which is huge. Yeah, which is like people in the chat were saying, well, the Rams are already in. What are they playing for? It's like, well, they're playing for that difference.
Games because then if they get, all they have to do is go on the road to Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Rich, can I ask you a question?
In the Super Bowl and get another home game.
Here's a question, Rich, because I am of the mind that Jimmy Ward is the most important person to play in this game. A lot of people believe that K'Wan Williams really needs to play in this game as well. Do you feel that the 49ers can win this game with Jimmy Ward and not K'Wan Williams, or one way or the other?
I didn't think K'Wan Williams played that well in the first game. I think they mostly used Jimmy Ward over covering Kupp if he's in the slot or anything. Anyways, so I don't think it's as big of a deal. They're still going to get pressure on Stafford and maybe force some bad throws. But I think Jimmy Ward right now is more important than Williams.
I think so too. Cornelio, I believe the name is. Can you say
no.
I won't. I
just
won't.
said Flipper Anderson is
you.
better than John Taylor. Get out of here.
Don't.
Oh no, he's a Rams fan. Ignore him.
No.
Ignore him. He's having fun. We're enjoying him.
I also watched Flipper Anderson as a kid too, and I don't remember anything about. One of my old high school coaches played for the Rams too. So that guy probably knows Dave Hill. Probably knows that name.
But I mean, here's all you really need to know about
AKA Matthew Montana. He's having fun. Though. We're having a good time with him.
I bet you that's Rich. I bet you that's Rich. On his phone, underneath, setting that stuff too. Rich is really marketing pro. And we were talking about our favorite burner account on Twitter earlier too, man. Since it's after dark, we can have some fun. because
do we want to have that much fun?
I want to have a bunch of fun.
I feel like this is a chat convo. I'm not. You know who we're talking about, though.
Let's have a bunch of fun. Andrew posts, Jordan posts Andrew's pro day, and this person says, "Oh, these are the guys who should be talking about who's going to be talking about the 49ers quarterback." And you know exactly what it's our favorite rotund racist around these parts. It's our favorite person. Our favorite Danny DeVito lookalike who knows nobody, who cleans Jimmy's toilets and heard one conversation.
Wow.
Yeah, hey, it's after dark. It's our favorite January 6th guy.
That was a joke I was gonna make.
Talking crazy. But
KD.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people in the chat got it that they were believing that it was somebody different, and it's not the guy that you believe it is.
Yeah,
it's a guy. Okay. It's a guy that continues to be on 49ers Twitter because people allow him to be there, and because people don't see that he's just an absolute moron all the time. And I think that's really the issue. But he tried to say, these are the guys that want to be quarterback. Bro, you're 5'2". No one ever picked you for any sort of athletic competition in any way. Because he's like, oh, the skinny guy who never got picked for anything. I'm 6'5". I got chose for many things. Basketball, yo chick, that chick, the prom, whatever. Always. So you can't talk crazy to me about that. And you never played a down of football in your life, buddy. And you don't know nobody. I seen the picture. I know who you are. We know you. I seen you. I know who you are.
Everybody in the chat's like, say the name.
Say the name.
Nah.
Bing bong.
Okay, we didn't need to put it on.
I don't care.
Put it on. Somebody's gonna.
But cut it. Let him see it. He knows. That's why he blocked me. He talks shit behind a block. He knows. I seen the picture. You took a picture with Jimmy Garoppolo. That's as close as Jimmy Garoppolo you've ever gotten in your life, bro. You don't know nobody. Nobody knows you. And you just the guy.
I was gonna say something bad, but I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah. Look, no, man. I don't want to do that.
No, man. Rich, I saw this is me just changing the topic at this point.
Yeah, go for it. Go.
I saw a headline because you're a Packer guy too, and we'll talk. Do you actually think that Rodgers is going to boycott the Super Bowl? Did you see that headline?
Yeah.
Could you imagine the Packers make the Super Bowl?
He's like,
and Aaron Rodgers just like, no, thank you.
I'm protesting vaccine mandates. I'm not playing. Yeah, I saw that. That is so stupid. Why would he do that? That's like the whole reason why he wants to leave is because he hasn't won one in a decade.
Yeah, I saw that headline. I'm like, there's no way that can actually be a thing. Do you still feel the same? Because we talked last week about who you thought was going to the Super Bowl. Are you feeling the same way about your pick last week? I believe it was Packers Chiefs. I think is what you had.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
you still feeling that?
They beat the brakes off the Vikings, and then they have the Lions, so they're going to play like the first half. And, probably
maybe a Jordan Love appearance
after that, and then they got the bye week. I just think they're just the Vikings game didn't really tell me a whole lot because it's the Vikings and they were starting Sean Mannion. Yes, Jamal, my quick thoughts on Devondre Campbell, or I think he's a really good linebacker. He finally found a place to stick, and I think that's Green Bay. A lot of good games early on from him. Haven't really paid too much attention after that. But getting back to, as a whole, I just think they're the best team in the NFC and maybe even out of the AFC too, minus the Chiefs. But
I mean, it's significant. It's a huge difference that one seed. It's probably the most important thing the Packers hold right now. And
they're doing all of this without Bakhtiari and Jair Alexander. So, people want to say like, oh, well, to prove something, don't lose they're going to lose a third NFC championship game or whatever. And that's just not the same team, man. It's just that scheme is really taken off with Rodgers and LaFleur in year 3. Last year it was really good too. I mean, they were in the NFC Championship game, another 13-win season. And this year it's just different. They're just doing it without key guys. So it's tough to put anybody over them right now.
I guess we'll move back to the 49ers since this is a 49er podcast. Cook and Smoke asks, are you concerned with Big Trent Williams not practicing all week?
Yes and no. Just going off what Shanahan said earlier in the week, he thinks he's going to play. But, does Shanahan really have a clue about the medical situation that goes on inside his own facility? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he's, hopped up on Toradol and shit and is playing.
Own him, Ben. Talk about it, Rich. We need to talk about your Joey Burrow takes.
Well, I didn't think Burrow was very good last year, and this year it's different. He developed over the course of the season, so I'm happy to be wrong about that one because he's really good. He's really fun to watch. Top 5 quarterback in that conference this year, and
for sure,
easily. I think he easily had a really good season, and that was with still being sacked 50 times.
Let me ask you this: how much of Jackpot Joey Burrow's gat dance has to do with how good he is, man? Because there's something about the swagger.
Did Burrow do that? I only remember the blonde lady.
No, he did it because that's a LSU. That's a Louisiana thing. That's a Louisiana song.
But I don't remember him in that video.
No, he's not in that video. That's Justin Jefferson and all those guys. He was already out of there. But
as long as he doesn't tear his patella,
that was after they won the Natty with him.
Oh, that was. Oh well, he wasn't in the video. No,
he wasn't in the video. I just remember the blonde lady.
Yeah, that's the LSU queen, right? She's But yeah, that's a big Louisiana song, right? That is I forget the DJ's name, but that song's been around since the 90s, the Get the Gat, and that's something that he's part of. So it was cool to see that, right? Sometimes I watch other teams having fun in their locker room, and I'm like, man, I kind of wish my team did that. I kind of wish that my team had some fun like that here and there, smoked a cigar in there, and it's just there's something about Joe Burrow, about his
he's got
confidence
for sure.
Yeah, his confidence. I know that people talk about, well, he has the confidence and he looked no, you can kind of see it, right? Off of an ACL, he's only going to get a little bit better. And just everybody laughed at them for taking Chase as opposed to taking Penei Sewell or whatever. Or was it Sewell went before him? And
no, Sewell went before him.
Yeah, Sewell went before him. They didn't take
sorry. No, Sewell went after Chase.
I think he went before him.
No, I think we've had this conversation. I think somebody told us that it was Chase. I think Chase was 5, Sewell was 6.
Okay. All right. So, either way, but I think that they made the right decision in terms of that. Thank you for the donation, Cornelio. I believe Read and Go. I read and go. We do too, man. We do too, man. Except for Rich.
Rich bleeds some green again.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was going to wear my Packers hat with this, right?
I need to hang on. I'm gonna look up. Nobody's told us about the 20.
Can somebody send me that picture of that Rams fan with the middle fingers up, please, man? So I could just have it on deck, just saved, man, because it's so good. Wearing the
2020 NFL draft. No, 2021, right? That was Sewell.
And he's wearing a golf jersey.
He's wearing a golf jersey. I love it.
Let's see here. Rich, I think it's impressive. He doesn't. I don't think. Yeah, Chase was 5, Sewell was 7.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Leo, no fun league. Jason, love Jimmy for keeping it classy. Kick that bozo out.
Get him out of here, man.
Got about it. And here's a better question: where's Andrew's Bears hat? This man literally, when we were about to do the Bears preview, was like, should I wear the Bears hat to troll? And I was like, dude, you're going to get us banned from everything, man.
I just need people to know, these are my hats. And yes, I do have a Bears hat somewhere in here, but I just like hats. Let me find the Bears hat.
Do you own a Fat Bill hat anywhere?
Nope. He's all 47.
I do. No, I do.
Oh.
You bent it.
I actually have a ton of flat bill hats. I used to wear fitteds all the time. I need to find my Bears hat though. Hang on. I got my Giants hat. I'm packing it. Rich, you'll like this one.
Yeah, I like that one.
I'm packing it. I'm packing it away.
I wouldn't wear it though because it's not a fitted.
I bought this for Jason because
nice. Best team in the tri-state area.
That one too. Niners.
The last time they were
college football team.
The Devils.
Devil.
Way more recently than the Rangers. Those scrubs.
I literally have a 47 brand hat.
I mean, but here's the thing: it's every team that plays in Madison Square Garden doesn't matter. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, beat those Cavs. I'm so looking for it. I got this one. This was my Christmas.
Nice for you, Rich. The Michigan one.
Giants. You like that one, Rich?
Yeah, I like that one too.
This is a good one. But we finally got to it. You know, we got the bear. I'll be nice with this one. We got the Bears hat.
I will, since we're being honest. So I was gifted a Justin Fields jersey at the Chicago Bears game that I went to. I was gifted that, and I made a bet with the person who gave it to me, and they said, if the Bears win this game, you have to wear Justin Fields jersey on your podcast. And I have my Justin Fields jersey. It is hanging up. And unfortunately, not unfortunately, I didn't have to wear it. But yeah, it's funny how things work out, right? Like you have that Bears hat. I have a Justin Fields jersey literally in my closet, hanging up, right? But yeah. Don't be talking shit about the Rangers. 1994.
Yeah.
Are we talking hockey?
They wasted Lundqvist's career as a goal.
1994.
We're talking hockey?
1994, man. 1994. I remember the Devils won like three years after, like in a row. Like they were like legit, like every year in the cup. Like I touched the cup in Jersey because the Devils have won more than the Rangers had.
Hey, Rich, are you more of a Ovechkin or Crosby guy?
Oh, Ovi all the way.
Ovi all the way?
Yeah.
I
don't know. Crosby, I don't know. He's good.
People are not going to stay for this, man.
Dude, we've gotten so deep into the After Dark. We're talking hockey here on the Sprint Ride Option podcast.
Look,
are the Ducks doing it this year? They still doing well?
Don't be fooled by them. I don't know. Probably not.
Jason, do you have any NHL questions?
We'll stick for 10 more minutes. No more NHL questions.
No more NHL. We're not talking shell.
No more. The 94 win was far more important to the NHL than those double cups combined. All right.
We got Jersey Devil and New York Rangers.
But here's the thing. When I was actually a fan of the New York Knicks, because I'm not anymore, the Knicks and the Rangers had a chance to do something that was incredible, right? Michael Jordan retired, finally. The Rangers had a chance to win the chip, and the Knicks, all they had to do was win one more game, and they would have had double parades. And I was an avid Knicks fan in 1994. I don't give a shit about them now because James Dolan. Look, this is a message for anybody. If your team treats you like shit and the owner's terrible, don't follow them anymore. Don't give them any more money. I don't care about the Knicks anymore. I haven't watched a Knicks game in the last 6 years because of James Dolan. He's a terrible owner. He doesn't deserve my eyes. He doesn't deserve my money. I don't care. And I also know that the Knicks are never going to win a championship because guess what? The Knicks are terrible. Anyway, the Rangers and the Knicks had a chance to do something that was unprecedented. And there's a 30 for 30 about it. The Garden and New York, it was about to be lit in 94. Thanks a lot, Hakeem Olajuwon. Thanks a lot, John Stark.
Thanks, OJ.
2 for 18. Thanks, OJ.
That's the only reason. If it wasn't for OJ, that's not a 30 for 30. You know that, right?
No, it's a 30 for 30 because both New York teams had a chance to win their championship. The funny thing is the Knicks lost that game, but then they went on to win the next two. And then all they had to do was win one of the last two. And they lost both.
What did Griffey do that day? Because Griffey was Griffey was on like the home run streak, right? Because that was part of it.
Yeah.
God, I love 30 for 30. That's just a side comment there. Well,
they're gonna do a 30 for 30 on 49ers year. Like
we really just talk hockey.
What if you follow the team that was complete chaos from January 1st all the way to December 31st? 30 for 30, the 49ers and 49ers Twitter. Literally, this year has been just like insane.
Dude, maybe we'll get on that, Jason. We'll make a 30 for 30 about this season because
we need to find somebody better than us that video edits that we can like have somebody do that, like where they talk about the Senior Bowl, the Stafford stuff, the trade up, who's the pick at 3, training camp, the season, how and we still have one more act to follow, and that's this last game.
remember, I mean, we can even go as far back starting with last, like just the post Super Bowl Niners. Cause like, remember Jason last year when this podcast had 3 people watching at one time? And we had to have very real conversations about no, Nick Mullins is not going to win the starting job over Jimmy Garoppolo. And now it's like we're here talking about the quarterback position every day. Like it's just whether it's Nick Mullins, CJ Beathard, Trey Lance, Jimmy Garoppolo, the Niners quarterback position is the thing to talk about.
D-Deets, I'm in northern New Jersey. I'm a Hoboken guy, Jersey City. I live in Bayonne now. But my heart's in New York, where my father's from.
Which one of you live closer to the shore? That's the only part of Jersey.
He does.
Okay.
He does. Brick is south. Javi, you were right, Javi. You were right. I get it. You were right, though. Like, we got vindication later on.
So. Hey, Jason, have you ever heard this the Bloodhound Gang song? It's no, it's a Bloodhound Gang. Who is it? The 10 Things I Love Most About New Jersey. Have you heard that song?
Never.
Okay, look it up. It's a good song.
No, I won't.
It's dead. It's dead air for 15 seconds.
No, yeah, that's it. I mean, honestly, I agree with you. The only thing about northern New Jersey that's like largely dope is that like I'm a stone's throw from New York City. Like I can take a train and be there in 10 minutes.
Well, everything's close out there, isn't it? Like I live in California. I have to drive forever to get to anywhere.
There's public transportation everywhere. If that's what you're asking.
Like, aren't you like a 20-minute drive from Philly, or am I way off on that?
No, like 90 minutes. He's closer. In Brick, he's way closer to Philly. 90 minutes. I took a bus to the Philly game.
Not Bloodhound. Who sings the 10 things? Is it? I forget who it is.
Own him for trying to make fun of Jersey and getting it wrong.
Rich,
leverage talk, please.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. Since Jason said about 10 minutes left, I guess we'll end it with the question we usually end these preview podcasts with. Kind of bring it back to the Niners. What's your prediction on Sunday?
Yeah.
Well, you think the Niners win, and what's your final score? Kind of give what you're thinking.
Oh man.
I know earlier you said your heart says Niners, brain says Rams, but I want you to lay your prediction out.
I'm not buying the hype. I think it's probably going to be something like 30-24 Rams.
30-24 Rams. So I just want you to know you're on my side because I said 27-17 Rams. That's your final score. Beautiful. So Rich has Rams. I have Rams. Jason has Niners. Hopefully Jason's right. Yeah, it is the Bloodhound Gang. Thank you, Brett. 10 coolest things about New Jersey. I love Brett.
Brett is the music guru.
And Brett Jersey is Clerks, by the way. Also, there is you can still if you look up the town, you can go to that actual store. Clerks. You seen Clerks, Rich?
Yeah. No. John Oliver's creepy uncle said typical Packers fan, Rich.
Picking the Rams. Own him.
I don't know if it's the same guy, but on Twitter, there's always a guy that calls me a Rams fan, and then like 5 minutes later, will tweet at me, "Oh, Packers fan, okay." And then I'm like, it's just like a running joke.
Well, that's why we have the watch meme with you with the Rams hat, with the Packers hat. Like we have so many.
Rich, you know that photo is not photoshopped in any way. I was watching. We have a request from Atlanta Jordan, by the way, in the chat.
All right, so I'll stay on for him real quick. He better. Okay. You got to hop on immediately.
But no. So I was chilling at home watching Game of Thrones or something, and I get a text. I go through my watch real quick, see what text, and I lift my watch, and I shit you not, the first thing I see is that picture.
Is your face because
it laid out exactly like that. And I get done with an episode of Game of Thrones, and the first thing I see is Rich Madrid's face on my watch.
It's so
that was photoshopped in no way. That is 100% the real thing.
Right, like that wrist is Andrew Pasquini's wrist, and the funny
that is my wrist.
And the funny part is, I think it had something to do with like somebody talking about the Rams or the Packers, and like somebody was like, "Oh, well, nobody's worried about them," and like we just and then we just sent the picture that of your face, and it ends up being that. Oh my god, man! And then it becomes this large meme, man. It's just like, Rich, you're awesome, man. We love you, man. And like when I say that it's a pleasure to be called a bozo by you, it really is a pleasure, man. I promise you that.
Christopher Johnson, thank you for the donation. Okay, back to football. LOL. Did the injury report surprise you today? Hurst, Shire, Greenlaw, all being questionable was a surprise for me.
Those are all guys recently that have had injuries that have missed time. So no.
Well, I think what he means is wouldn't you have expected many of them to just be automatically out? I think that
it depends on the severity and what they how they prep to get them ready. I don't know.
Damn.
Javi, we'll have you take the question on the board.
Did the injury report surprise you today? Hurst, Shire, Greenlaw, all being questioned. No, the only one that was surprising is Hurst because he hasn't played all year.
Yo,
everyone else, and Shire. I don't think Shire is going to play, but Greenlaw should play. We'll see. Is that Jordan? Are you
Hello, Jordan?
Jordan, what's going on?
Now is it better?
Yeah,
it's all right. Jordan, are you doing the rich impression? No, that's another episode, Jordan.
Hold on. Should we let them in on like the caveat if the Rams somehow decide to run away with this thing, Jordan, or should we just like keep that like?
Well, I think we should keep that to the vest.
I think
we should wait on that.
Cool. All right, but Javi, continue with the question, and then we'll pass it on to Jordan too, real quick.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised by that. The Shire thing, kind of, but I mean, he was doubtful last week, and now, but yeah, I mean, I think they're all hands on deck. But I think Kyle's playing everything close to the vest, and he's going to use whatever competitive advantage he can when it comes to Shire, Greenlaw, those guys. Hopefully, it's Greenlaw because Marcel has played okay, but I'd rather have Greenlaw this week if we can't have Shire.
Right. So real quick, Rich, the other Rich, no, just the question was asked, are you surprised that there's nobody that's out and there's guys that possibly could play? Like the 49ers, like let's just say all things break correctly, right? Yeah. Everybody comes off the COVID list. All of these guys who are questionable play. The 49ers might be the healthiest that they've been on defense for the entire season.
Feels great, baby.
There you go.
I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, these lists, you know. These lists, like, who knows, man? Like, these guys that are questionable, like, half the guys could be, like, small, minor, injury or collision in the game from coming out, and half the guys might be totally fine. Like, nobody really knows. NFL injury reports are such a, like, crapshoot. I do think that it's interesting that nobody was ruled out because generally at least a couple guys, they're going to be like, no, like they're not going. So maybe because it is an all hands on deck thing when they have to get in the playoffs, like I was surprised to see Azeez Al-Shaair not get ruled out, to be honest. Like I'm hoping he can play because I agree with what Javi said. Like he was one of the best players on the entire defense, like all season. It's not just that he's like an upgrade of what they have. It's like the Niners are very lucky to have a player that good on the roster in the first place. So it'll be interesting to see if he plays. And the one that I'm anxiously awaiting is Jimmy Ward coming off the COVID list because I've been out running errands. So I don't know if that happened over the last.
It hasn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for because he, for whatever reason, it seems like there's two players that the Rams have not been able to make adjustments for. Deebo Samuel is one, and then Jimmy Ward is the other. So it feels like if he play like outside of quarterbacks, I never like having one guy be the determining factor. But literally, if Jimmy Ward doesn't play, I don't feel great about this game. And if he does play, I think the Niners have a great chance of winning. So that's the name that I'm watching the closest over the next 24 hours or so.
So what I'll ask around, and I will ask this because I've asked it to Rich, is a lot of people want to see K'Wan Williams play in this game, and they feel like K'Wan Williams is a bigger deterrent to Cooper Kupp. And I'm not certain that the 49ers need K'Wan Williams. Okay, so there we go. We'll start with the second Rich Madrid, and then we'll move our way all the way around.
Jason, while they're answering, why don't you get your tacos?
No, I'm not going to sit. Okay. I'm having a blast here. What I'm going to do is probably get
your tacos camera off while you're chewing.
No, man.
Suggestion. All right. Anyways, we'll start with Rich Madrid the second.
Second Rich Madrid.
We'll start with the second
Williams,
Rich Madrid.
K'Wan Williams more important than Jimmy Ward, or do the 49ers need K'Wan Williams in this game?
I mean, look, man. I mean, you can win with K'Wan Williams. All right, like he's not bad. It's kind of boring. But
You can't hold. I love it.
In all seriousness, like no disrespect to K'Wan Williams, but especially in that first matchup of the year, like Cooper Kupp was not being slowed down. It felt like in the slightest. He had that, incredible goochception where he caught the ball on his backside. We all remember that play fondly, but it obviously didn't count because K'Wan was getting very grabby with Cooper Kupp, and the refs have basically been they were watching it over the whole course of the game. Whereas Jimmy Ward is a guy that they can kind of, I just feel like the ability to line him up all over helps disguise a little bit more what you are doing. Whereas if you have K'Wan just shadowing Kupp in the slot, like it's kind of, you know what I mean? It just, there's more creativity there, and I don't want to get into the whole Staley, Morris terminology, Fangio, this and that. I'll let the senior Rich Madrid handle that stuff. But
I love this marketing pro guy, man. I'm sorry. Keep going, Joe.
I also, and again, I don't want to sound disrespectful because I think that K'Wan Williams does a lot of things really well, but I think that his value is a little bit overinflated in the sense that 49ers fans seem to think he's like the best slot corner in the NFL when it comes to coverage. And I don't think that he is. And again, I don't want to take anything away from him, but I also think that he has this like overinflated value amongst 49ers fans. And they think that maybe he's better than he actually is.
Javi, anything to add on that?
No, second Rich Madrid kind of answered it all. I'm more worried about Trent Williams and Jimmy Ward in this game. As long if Trent can't go, shit. If Jimmy Ward can't go, shit, because Jimmy gives you the flexibility to where you allow Tart to play free safety, right? And you can line up Jimmy Ward over Kupp or over Van Jefferson over Odell Beckham or the tight end or whatever you need Jimmy Ward to do. So I'm more worried about Jimmy Ward and Trent Williams in this game than opposed to who's starting for quarterback and what they have for, Cam Akers. I'm scared. Yeah, that's the type of shit I'm worried about.
Florida State guys, let's calm down.
Hey, you calm down, you Ramley. You already predicted the Rams are going to win this game. I'm kicking your ass out of the podcast real quick. Sprint Right Option Podcast with Jason Aponte and whoever the hell wants to be a 49ers homer is going to be the new name.
Rich Madrids.
Yeah, with the two Rich. Yeah, Jason Aponte and two Rich Madrids, like Sprint Right Option Podcast. It has a ring to it.
Last.
It'd be like twins, and I'm Danny DeVito, and Rich is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Damn, is that an AD 49ers shot? Wow.
Oh my God. Last question before we'll take Javi and Rich the second's prediction because we got Rich the first prediction. Jordan, Javi, Rich, who wins in a UFC fight? Because this was a very real question we got asked today. Brad Graham or Jason Aponte? Who wants?
What the hell?
That was a question we got. Brad versus Jason.
They were like, who wins in a UFC match between me and Brad? I was like, what the hell?
Sorry, you go ahead, Rich. The senior Rich.
My money's on Brad.
Duh. The hell?
Jordan, you muted yourself.
You're muted.
Who's the dude that like kicked the other guy in the head like 3 seconds into a title fight? Am I confusing that? Or like maybe he hits him with like the Masvidal like flying knee? Like I'm not taking anything away from Brad Graham. That man is a physical specimen, but I think Aponte just has this like X factor that you can't account for.
No,
Jersey factor.
You're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. I told you this man, like we were like faking around all line, like how to do, and this man almost in Mobile. Everybody else went out. He almost threw me out of the club, like literally just joking around with me. I have no shot, bro. I'm tall, but I weigh $175. Like, what am I gonna do with that man? I'm gonna do nothing with that guy.
Javi, you're the tiebreaker. We have one vote Brad, one vote Jordan or Jason.
I have met both of these gentlemen, and I'm sorry, Jason. I love you, but Brad would whoop your fucking ass.
I would never want to fight Brad, and I have to thank God. I have to thank God that Brad is a teddy bear and doesn't want to fight. Like that's how it is. Like that's the thing. Is like that man is giant, but he doesn't want to fight.
To quote the great Richmond Grid II, Brad would fold you.
Yeah. Not even like I would take the bets against me in the fight. I would talk wild crazy and like run the money up and everything, and I would take the bet against me.
Wait, I think Leo has a good point here though. Is it New York Aponte or is it Girl Dad Aponte?
All right. So the New York
Uh-oh.
Aponte was out in full force a little bit in Mobile when things didn't go the way that we thought it would with a certain thing. So I think what he's talking about is when I grew Tim's and I fitted all of a sudden, and I didn't even have
And everything was B
that time.
afterwards.
Yeah,
Like B.
everything was B, dead ass. I'm a whip your ass fan, like all that stuff. So maybe, I mean, I'll tell you this: New York Aponte has a way better shot than Girl Dad Aponte. But I could never harm Brad Graham. I could never harm that man.
See, I think what you guys want to do is make it a boxing match and not a UFC fight, because that's how you guys really get paid out. UFC, their pay scale not great for their fighters. You really want to get paid out.
Aponte 6'9". I'm not snitching on nobody, man. What, yo? JKBG has been killing
Actually,
it, like, right now.
Actually, Jordan, I got one last question before we ask predictions, because this did come up. What are your opinions on the '94 Rangers against the Jersey Devils from the early 2000s? Because we did talk hockey today.
I mean, if we're talking scheme, man, I mean, those Jersey Devils, I mean, they have Brodeur, man. I mean, he's out here pitching shutouts and, you know.
The 2000 Devils. What about the late 90s Devils?
Or the late 90s Devils, yeah. Got the times mixed up.
Well, I think that if you're talking about pure offensive line and I mean, you cannot discount. You can't discount what Scott Stevens brought to those New Jersey Devils, and I think that that's a little bit lost on this as well.
Can we talk about how the NHL is conspiring against the San Jose Sharks and the small market American teams? There's some serious Canadian favoritism going on. And I just want to throw it out there.
Jamal got it. Jamal got it. Oh my God, he got it. He got it, man. He got it. I can't believe. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Honestly, I could listen to that all day.
And look, real shit, that Vish impression started on Clubhouse, right? Like when we were starting to talk about when we were like, so Sin, who's in here, Sin, I hope you're still in here. One of the greatest, there's two great Clubhouse moments. One of them was when we were trying to figure out, hey, what do the 49ers do, right? Do they get a rookie quarterback and they get a veteran? And Vish floats the idea of maybe Andy Dalton. Sin is the nicest woman I've ever met in my life, man, and is the biggest supporter of all of us. I have never heard that woman turn up more on anybody, and she owned Vish. She like took her thing off mute, right? Yeah, she was cooking him, and all of us, and we're being the worst too. We're just like, own his ass, get his
own
ass,
him.
And she's like, now hold up. She was like, you're talking about all these quarterbacks and you're going to bring up Andy Dalton? And we're just like, yeah, get his ass.
Hey, low-key, Andy Dalton's been cheeks this year, too. Like, Cynthia, like, nailed that whole analysis. Like, Vish got
she was right.
What was the other great moment?
The Vish impression. And that guy who gave us the Scangarella info, right? Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the guy who popped up and was like, "Hey, man, I talked to Scangarello, and Scangarello said that Jimmy's like the dumbest quarterback he's ever worked with." And we were just like,
moron.
Yeah, we were all like, "Oh shit, what did he just say?"
Like hoping nobody recorded that.
No, I mean nobody recorded it. It's recorded in my mind. But yeah, HR says make it a field goal contest. Man, this has been a blast, man. We're only gonna stay on for like 3 more minutes. I promise.
Yeah,
we're gonna get out of here, man.
So I had Rams 27-17. I think Rich had 30-24. Jason had Niners. I forget, but he had Niners winning. He's a homer. He probably had like 100.
You're kicked off the pod.
Javi, what's your final score prediction? We're not necessarily focused on the Saints Falcons, so don't worry about the playoff aspect of it. I forgot to breathe there, but Javi, what's your prediction? I forgot to breathe while I was talking.
Niners 24-20. Jimmy Garoppolo last minute touchdown wins the game. QB wins for the crowd. Dave Lombardi goes nuts. The Athletic goes crazy with the content afterwards. 24-20 Niners in this one. Fred Warner pick 6, although us also.
I got Fred getting a pick in this game too.
Rich Madrid the second. What you got?
I mean, man, when you factor in, you know, they're capping it, and they're going to be out here disguising coverages post snap. Cooper Kupp's going to be running Aggie now. They're going to just spam the defense with it. I don't know, man. I had 24-20 in my Niners Nation article, so I'm going to side with Javi the GOAT and stick with that and go 24-20 Niners.
So 3 for the 49ers, 2 for the Rams. There it is. I guess the 49ers are going to win. I guess you don't have to watch it. More of a spoiler than a prediction at this point. Anybody have any
What
final
are they running
things going?
over there?
Well,
Over under is 44 and a half, so we're right on.
if you talk about the way that Matthew Stafford has played lately,
Oh my
I
God.
can see the correlation between wanting the 49ers to win. And I understand that. And that's perfectly fine.
Ride me 10. Ride me 10. Let's go.
Oh my God. Hey, yo. Oh my
Oh
God.
my
right.
No, look at the last comment there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. Oh my God.
That's
hey, yo,
it.
Joey,
Beautiful.
thank you for the donation, man. And-
Joey, thank you
yo,
for the donation.
Oh my God. JKBG, we got to get out of here, man. I'm not putting that on.
All
the
right,
screen.
yeah, we're gonna get out of here. Jason, or first of all, Rich, Javi, thank you so much for
Thank
hopping
you,
on
guys.
with us.
This is fun.
Really means the world. Maybe we'll
Well,
plan
maybe
one
we
of
have
these
one
out.
more. We're gonna have another sprint right
Yeah.
option after dark
We-
after the 49ers win this week. You
Yeah.
damn Ramley. Like you're Ramley now at this point, Andrew.
I know, right? My Rams hat comes in on Sunday, so maybe I'll wear that Sunday.
Tired of it.
Oh my God.
Beautiful. Thank you guys very much for joining. I'll text you guys. Jason Aponte, as always.
Let's go Niners. And I'm tired of Rich one and Andrew. We're out.
Hey, let's talk about a win on Monday, huh?
That's it. Welcome everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners.